just a little bit.
So, as everyone knows, it's never a good local show unless it starts 20 minutes late. So, welcome to the Pittsburgh Creative Collective variety show. Yep. All right. I think we're done with our technical difficulties here. Hopefully.
Let us know if you can hear us in the comments.
So, to my left, I have Noah LaRue, the PCC in-house journalist, and to my right, I have Tanisha Long, Pittsburgh activist and protester. How do you like to be?
I usually just go by Tanisha. No, activist, community organizer.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking to Tanisha's going to hang out with us this whole time and watch some great performances from a bunch of local artists that I am super, super excited about. So since we've made you wait 18 minutes, we're going to get everything kicked off from the get-go with a video from Clara Kent. So Dustin will have to say what song. It says it's on you. Somebody's calling you on Skype.
I don't have Skype.
I don't know what to tell you.
You just stop.
All right, cool. Sorry about that. So we're going to kick things off with a video from Clara Kent. Dustin, what do you have for us?
The song is called Words.
Great.
Get on my life. It feels like it's just slipping by. Its promises turned into lies, and moments just turned into time. And almighty, please hear me now. And know my word ain't always kept. I hope my intentions are felt. And I know that my vision, my third eye is open. And I'm feeling like I'm chosen. But it's hard to cope when they don't see your focus, It seems when my focus is here that I forget those who are there. And oh, someone please hear my line. And no, I mostly press decline. I guess that's how life is sometimes. But what's growth with no compromise? Ain't nothing but a word, or so I've heard. Then I learned, your word means everything. Ain't nothing but a word, or so I've heard. And then I learned, ain't nothing but a word, your word means everything. Now what's a promise if it ain't kept? Expectations giving me stress, and I ain't trying to settle for less. All these words were missing some steps, And oh, the irony is I strive to be a fly me. Man, I roll up zoning for a high me until I'm elevated, cause the life I lead got me feeling like I'm on the edge and I'm about to leap. And I'm off the ledge. If I spread my wings, I hope I catch a breeze, I've been losing friends with time and got so much on my mind. And ever since my mama died, I lost track on living life. Been stuck in hazy dreams with purple smoke filling up my lungs. Maybe cause I'm feeling numb. I got sharp words slipping off my tongue like raisins, bubblegum flavored. I'm tired of these now-or-laters. My people look at me, we major. I'm ready for a celebration, and we can wake up a young nation and tell them that's more than slavery. And energized minds don't be lazy, but money got my people chasing. And meanwhile, history reshaping. It's slowly evaporating. It don't make sense. Ignorance so flagrant, living young, wild, and basic. New age for that fake shit, more like new slaves, gold chains, whips, got 3 eyes, don't waste it. Gotta elevate to awaken, cause heed my words, honest and true. You gotta start within you. You gotta start within you.
I'll need it again.
And that was Clara Kent with Words.
Great, and we have, we didn't say it earlier, but we also have Noah Welter here, and
Hello.
Des I are, our regular hosts here. We're in the band Bonnie and the Mere Mortals. I probably should have said that to begin with. So Noah, you want to talk a little bit about Clara Kent?
Yeah, absolutely. She did an interview with local Pittsburgh on their website, and it's a great interview that talks about sort of her influences. She covers a bunch of genres, as you heard really clearly here. I think it's a great example. She covers soul, blues, jazz, hip hop, and she studied at the Afro-American Music Institute in Elmwood. She's got a music background. I love that music. That music video was super cool. I was a huge fan of it.
I've been listening to her music honestly a lot this week. Her stuff just sounds great, and I love the way that people are being creative through, I feel like each show we have, people are pushing what you can do at home and how to make a home video or how to do a home performance or how to be creative during a pandemic differently. I really enjoyed that one.
Even the moving camera during that video, I love.
She shot that whole thing right
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. almost every artist that we have has been we ask people we ask people if they can.
Cool, right?
We have some people sending in music videos, but most of the stuff we have, we told people we really want to connect people and show them that you can still be creative while we're quarantining. So whatever quality it is, however you have to do it, just find creative solutions to deal with things. And something we've been talking on the show a lot about is how we feel like quarantine is going to change how creative things, how the music industry and the art industry are done.
Yeah.
I think it'll make it a lot more accessible for other people who think you have to have a big studio or spend a lot of money or basically just ball out to make a video, and then you have these people going viral making videos in their homes, TikTokers just renting out a house and just spending their whole day there. And I'm like, dude, I don't even have to go outside to be rich. I just need good-looking friends.
Yeah, I think Desmond was saying to me earlier about how the music industry gets stagnant every 10 years and then does a giant jump forward. And I think we're gonna end up seeing here, and like you said, the gatekeepers are there's this changing. I don't know whether they're gone, but I feel like there's a changing of the guard.
Yeah. And I think whoever is creative during this time right now, they're going to get to decide what the music industry looks like in the next 10 years. And so we're pretty much all figuring it out all over again.
Yeah, 1,000%. Well, let's talk to Tanisha a little bit before we throw another video
Absolutely.
on. So I'll just get out of the way.
Sure.
Kind of hard on the couch, but okay. Yeah.
So tell me who's watching who might not know about what you do with BLM in Pittsburgh.
So, a lot. That's the best way to put it.
So busy.
So much.
It has been a busy month. We're basically kind of just trying to embed ourselves more towards community efforts. You have so many great groups who are just killing the protest game. Pittsburgh I Can't Breathe, Young Black Educated. And while we do our own actions, we are focused more on what we can do in the community now and what we can do that's going to last for a long time. So we started a nonprofit. We haven't talked too much about it yet because we're going to announce it, but basically it's education based. We work on different community initiatives. We did our book fundraiser, which raised $16,000. Yeah. So we're just gonna let that one ride, and whoever wants to donate to, we're just gonna keep it up because it's a wonderful thing that is self-funded in a way.
Yeah.
So we just want to make a change that lasts now that we have everyone's attention to get their attention towards actually doing stuff. And everybody wants to do stuff, and they don't know how, and we're kind of just leading them to it by showing them what we do.
Yeah, being that sort of that symbol that I think a lot of people need right now and are looking towards. Can you tell us a little bit about that fundraiser?
Oh my gosh, it's my favorite thing in the world.
I'd love to hear about it.
It's my favorite thing in the world. So where I grew up, there's just no visibility. It's just white,
Yeah.
Tanisha, white. And that's how it went. And when you're growing up in areas like that, it's status quo, you expect it. So you don't expect to see yourself in other spaces either. Because you grew up not seeing you.
Yeah.
So when you read books, it's not weird to you that you don't see you. When you watch TV, it's not weird to you that you don't see you because you've never questioned it. It's how you grew up. So for kids in those areas, they need to start seeing themselves so they realize it's not normal to be the only one out here. But two, their self-worth isn't defined by what they are told it should be by people who don't look like them. So you show a little kid a book with them as a doctor, and you show them as leading roles, and you show them as superheroes and actors and mathematicians. You show them their history in accessible, digestible ways for kids. It's going to change how they view themselves, and they're going to want to either leave that space where they're not accepted, or they're going to want to achieve a higher standard. They know what to ask for. And for kids who are in communities where there are a lot of them, a lot of the problem lies in how they're represented. They don't know their self-worth because people are constantly in their area. You're not going to finish school. There's not black ballerinas. Like, this isn't for you.
Right.
So it's teaching them to ask for those things. And it's teaching tolerance for kids who are like white and they don't see their peers as peers because they're used to being in that power position. So what we did, we raised a buttload of money to buy children's and young adult books, just featuring Black authors, Black characters, Black history, and really just we're going to flood these areas with these books.
That's so cool.
Like,
It's so necessary, I think, you know?
So the areas that have, how much have you gotten nailed down? Like, you sending these books to Avella? What's up?
Listen, I already talked to Miss Clarendon about it.
Tanisha and I also, we went to the same crappy school together. I mean, there are a lot of really wonderful people there, but, you know, I don't want to throw the whole town in the trash, but sometimes I do.
Disclaimer, there are some fantastic people in Allen. There's fantastic teachers who made it 1,000 times better than what it was. There's fantastic friends. But there are a lot of people who aren't. And it needs acknowledged. But yeah, a lot of the books are going to Avella.
That's awesome.
They're at Washington, Avella. A lot of them are staying in Pittsburgh.
So it's Washington County, Allegheny County.
Washington County, Allegheny County are the two main focuses.
Okay.
But it's going to be diversified areas. But we want to make sure we get them into the hands of children who don't have a lot of access to literacy or literacy materials, because it's great to spend the money to try to educate kids to be better, but we also need to make sure that the kids who need them most get them first and foremost. Like we can focus on educating allies and growing ally children, and we are going to, but the main focus is for the kids who may never see a book in their lives or never be read to. There was a statistic where the average Black child has 500 words read to them before they go to pre-K. The average white child has upwards of 5,000.
Wow.
So they're not even being exposed to different words and languages, and they have no interest in reading because the characters don't even look like them or their subject matter isn't relatable. I wouldn't want to read that either.
They're not being inspired in the same way. They're not seeing those figures they need to see.
And what was cool, I was on Facebook today and I saw this meme, and it was like, what's some spicy tea that you want to talk about? And someone put, most children lose their interest in reading because they're force-fed white-led classic lit.
Yeah.
And they don't want to read anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, classic lit, dope. I spend a lot of time reading the classics, but at the same time, it's not relatable.
It's not the only thing that exists, and it doesn't mean that if something's been written in the last 50 years that it's trash, which is definitely how it is in academia. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your awesome event yesterday? If you have any good stories, any cool kids you talked to?
Listen.
Tanisha did an amazing event yesterday.
I'm so stressed. I loved it though. Oh my god, I loved it. So basically we did like a read-in. So a lot of civil rights era stories talk about sit-ins, a silent form of protest. This was a read-in. We distributed a lot of these books for free at Point State Park, and the idea was to have readers throughout the crowd reading to kids, do a, in a sense, non-spoken protest for Black education and literacy, because it's not just literacy that's the only problem with the school system. We have a school prison pipeline, we have police in our schools, just a lot. So we did this event and it was beautiful. We gave out over 250 books. We had people reading to the students. We had Tanisha from Pittsburgh I Can't Breathe came and spoke and read a story for us. Zaire and Kier King from Washington BLM came out and did the same thing. And it was fantastic and it was so great. And I love kids. I do now know I don't want any. Because they stressed me out. But we were able to bus in kids from Hawkins Village. We had a wonderful church donate enough funds for us to rent a van to bring in about 12 kids that we picked up. And it was stressful but worth it.
Yeah.
And you could tell that a lot of these kids never had access to these resources, and it was super sad. But it was super great because you took them out and you kind of sparked that fire.
And you're the one that gets to do that.
Yeah. Like in the moment you don't think about it because you're just busy. And I was like going at 300 that day. Like I'm still like residual stress from it. But when I think back on it, I think I'm really going to realize just how much of a difference it may have made. Or it made them question why they've never had these books, or made them question where they can get more. Or something like that. It did something, I know it. It had to. So.
Well, we have our, I don't know if it's on the video right now, Destin, but we have our Venmo link that you can donate to. For this show, we'll be donating 100% of those proceeds to this wonderful lady right here. Hopefully, I mean, don't get too excited.
I know.
But hopefully, let's get some kids some books. And I think this is a good time to maybe, Destin, do we want to move to the next video? Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, so next up we have Inez with Clouds.
Na 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 na. The clouds we touch, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. The sky ain't high enough, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. Falling back to love, maybe, yeah, yeah, yeah. You and I. The clouds we touch, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. The sky ain't high enough, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. Falling back to love, maybe, yeah, yeah, yeah. You and I. Honey-coated conversations, the harmony and meditation. I'm kissing you and levitating on your smile, oh your confidence. You so fly, boy you heaven sent. In this love with me, you have all you need. You don't have to come down, yeah. Oh, these clouds we touch. Oh, it ain't high enough. Maybe, yeah. You and I. The clouds we touch, baby, yeah. The sky ain't high enough, baby, yeah. Falling back to love, maybe, yeah. You and I, yeah. Oh 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 yeah. Said chocolate lover, you so patient. I know you feel my hesitation, and I don't wanna keep you waiting. Please take my hands and we can soar till the day turns night. With stars in the indigo skies. I said, boy, you got me so high. fatal if I come down. Energy merging with you, so I feel you always around. The more time that we spend, I see how it don't exist. I wish that my mama told me that love could end up like this. Pure bliss, the clouds you touch, baby, yeah. The sky ain't high enough, baby, yeah. Falling back to love, maybe, yeah. You and I. The clouds you touch, baby, yeah. The sky ain't high enough, baby, yeah. Falling back to love, maybe, yeah. You and I, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 oh yeah.
I love her hair.
So Inez, I believe she has a song with, I think this one, Clouds, is actually with Claire Kent as well, which is super cool.
I was listening to this earlier today. I think it's the one she has on Spotify. I was listening to it right before the show. I love it.
It's so good. And again, I love how everyone's like, we didn't get, it's not like we gave anyone like complicated prompts or exactly what to do. We just said like, however you want to perform. And the amount of activity and different stuff people have been doing is so cool.
I love her hair.
So, and that was for her. Her cousin was murdered last week, and I think her and one of her grandparents died. So she's having a rough week, and she's
amazing talent.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so happy we can, she was able to send us something and we were able to feature her.
So, and also she wanted me to put up her GoFundMe, so I'll be adding that to the comments as well if anyone wants to donate to that.
Yeah. So you've been doing activism for a long time now. And it's recently, I think for the better, exploded a lot more into the news media, into people's public awareness. How's it been different? How's it been really recently?
It's gonna be like a whirlwind.
Yeah, it's gotta be a lot.
My phone doesn't stop. But like, I'm glad. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't care what I'm on. I don't care like if I'm on TV. I don't care if I'm on the news. I operate in the same way I did before. You have a goal, you have a mission, and when things start distracting from that, you're not doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just keep doing the things I was doing before, except now I have better resources. And I'm able to get more stuff done because people are paying attention. A lot of that comes with like media or publicity, and that's fine. Like I don't mind it. I think it's cool that people actually care. And it's unfortunate what it took for people to kind of really get to this point, but I'm glad they did.
It's almost I hate to say it, like a necessary evil to have constant media attention, but I think it can also probably do a lot of good,
Yeah. I don't mind it. That's why I'm like, it is what it is. Like, I just roll with it. I'm like, okay, sure, you want me to do this? Yeah, that's fine. Here's the book drive, by the way.
Yeah. So here's
I never not slide something important.
Here's what's really important.
Like, literally, I'm like, these efforts are great. Like, the one that's happening on Saturday. Like, that's how I usually do it.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay attention. Like, no one's there to hear themselves talk. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody comes on there and they're like, oh, I want to see Tanisha. No, they want to hear important things. So it's never an opportunity to blow yourself up.
Yeah.
And when you use it as an opportunity to blow yourself up, you just lost sight.
You might have lost the message in a way.
Yeah. It's done. There's no point.
How's everything with the community felt from the new communities that you've been able to connect with and reach, and the allies and the whole entire community that you had online and protest? How has that been? What can you tell us about that?
You have and you have this in every movement. The one thing that's always going to derail any movement is infighting, and alienation of allies. So what we do, I mean, at least what I do, I can't speak for everyone. What I do is I am very ally collaborative, and I do embrace allies a lot. Because 13% of people can't solve 100% of the problem of racism. You can't do it by yourself, you need them. And you have other schools of thought on that, and it makes it a little bit more difficult when you have a mixed message.
Mm-hmm.
So you have some groups that are like, please, let's work with you, let's do this together. Your fight is my fight, hand in hand. Then you have other groups like, don't speak, no one wants to hear from you, just give us money. And I'm like, that's not my vibe at all. And it shouldn't be.
You've definitely been overwhelmingly all about positivity, all about positive things, all about education, you know.
People don't absorb things when you're just, like, you can't be, like, when it comes to handling, like, allies and when it comes to handling other activists, you can't beat people down and then expect them to embrace your cause or want to be there and listen to you. They need something that they actually believe in and not something that they felt shamed into, guilted into. Like, people need to learn about this stuff, and that's the thing. Like, I'm a lot more patient than most people when it comes to educating people on these topics, because if you think about it, there's people who never would have asked these questions before all this. And now they're finally trying to understand the problem more. And there are a lot of people who are like, educate yourself, go online. First off, there's people like Candace Owens online. You're going to run into one of her and be like, no, never mind. I was on the right page. The Black people, they're with me. Or like a Ben Carson or Stacey Dash or any of these problematic Black figures. And that's going to become their mindset, and you sent them there.
Mm.
So I do think there is an importance in educating people who are willing to listen. However, don't use all your energy and mental space arguing with people who don't really want to hear you. They just want to like be racist and have you waste your time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, what's the thing you keep saying about?
Don't water dead plants.
Yeah, I like that.
Don't
water
dead
dead plants.
Like, it's just, you just ever hear like waters and lawn furniture or something, like this fake office plant. Nothing's gonna grow from that.
Right.
It's dead. Just let it go.
Destin and Noah, did you have any questions for Tanisha or comments?
Oh, threw me on the spot like that. I was just paying attention to everything she was saying. Let me think on that. I do, but I just...
Yeah, I'll have to think on that too.
Yeah. Give me some time.
Yeah, definitely. You're in a variety show talking about Black Lives Matter with 4 white people. So anything that, we're here to listen and give you a platform and learn. So anything that you have to help us out to be better allies.
It's funny because like when you do stuff like this, there's always people who will criticize it.
Yeah.
Like I've been called whitewashed so many times that it cracks me up at this point, and I'm like, okay, like I guess, sure. But it is what it is. It's just you have to collaborate. There's nothing wrong with collaboration. Like, and if you're not collaborating, it's just you alone with your small group of followers, and it's eventually going to die out once the activity and the excitement dies out because they had nothing to fight for.
Mm.
They don't understand why they're there. They have nothing to fight for. It's kind of like a clout chasing game after a while.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I like especially that what you're doing is like, even if no one did anything else tomorrow, like even if tomorrow people are like, all right, we're done protesting, all right, we're done, whatever, like those books are still going to go to schools, those kids are still going to profit from it for the next 10, 15, I mean, we had books in our school library that were, goodness.
You open them up, they're dusty. And you're like,
yeah, there might be a kid 50 years from now that's going to go into their school library, open up this dusty old book and read some great things. So I love that.
think that's I keep thinking about that.
I mean, and that's worst case scenario. Obviously, we don't want any of that happening.
Right.
But I'm saying what you're doing is a quick but long lasting, like, it's, you know.
And ridiculously important. I mean, it's something that is not talked about. It's not.
And who's gonna
public.
argue about it? Like,
Exactly.
you could have the worst person on the planet, like, like.
It's only positive. That's a wonderful thing.
I mean, maybe that's dumb of me to say. I'm sure people are arguing with me about this, but. Well, do we want to go to the next video? I don't remember what we have up next.
So next it looks like we have Gallo Loch Ness.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for y'all to see this video.
Yeah. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Gallo Loch Ness. Shout out Pittsburgh Creative Collective for having me. Big ups to y'all. So today, I'm going to perform this joint called Zoning. It's one of my joints. You can find it off of gallosworld.com. You can find it on YouTube. And you can also catch me on any streaming platform you prefer. Check it. We're living in a world full of differences, which is good if we sat back and just witness it. But we money driven and all about businesses. Everyone's so sensitive, you disagree and you're a nemesis. Silliness, cause people scared to better their lives, so they drink all night, fill their thoughts with 45s. Hennessy because of what my beat told me. And no memories, cause he drank OD. If only he wasn't so lonely, having them a tenderoni, chilling out with his brodies with someone real, never phony. Maybe I'm crazy for thinking that if I could just bring it back, reverse time and rework life. But that's the life he lives. No, that's the life he chose. Instead of wife and kids, he'd rather ride with hoes. You know how it goes. Married to the streets, that's probably all he knows. So he struggles comfortably. Like, I'm just zoning. I'm just zoning. I got some time on my own, so I'm in the zone, banging on the microphone. I'm just zoning. I'm just zoning. Yeah. I got some time on my own, so I'm in the zone, banging on the microphone. Living on this planet with so much beauty, it's like I'm needing me a canvas to paint it, but it's tainted because we all take it for granted. Waking up, wishing all this stress will vanish, but yo, people go to God for answers. Like, why my mom have cancer? You know, we just want to stand up, but the government will kill us if we don't got our pants up? Yeah. Where's the priorities? Little girl, white Spanish or black, she vanished. That problem treated like minority. And no, please, it's harder to fake than police. Cause isn't red and blue supposed to make me feel safe? But when I see it, I wanna run like I'm in a race. I gotta look at my baby every day in the face and protect her by any means. But wait, try and follow me. People getting robbed and killed by other people overwhelmed from bills. By companies that's making meals, but the government taxing them and always up in their grills. So I ask, who really is the victim? Looks like to me we live in a corrupt system designed to make people fail. And what's crazy, it's a success when we land more people in jail. Crazy thoughts, you may be lost, but follow me. Who's the fool? The one that makes the rules or the ones that following? See, that's even deeper. Cause what I'm saying, people protest, but that's disobeying. Pepper spraying, a message relaying hope, but they rather see that stop, they rather see us choke. Now more provoked, and others scared. A vicious cycle, it isn't fair, but I'm well aware. PEM's the home. Pardon me, I'm just in my zone. I'm just in my zone. So I get deep down to the bone. Like, I'm just zoning. I'm just zoning. Time on my own, in the zone, bitten on a microphone. Like, I'm just zoning. I'm just zoning. Yeah. Time on my own, so I'm in the zone, bitten on the microphone. Like.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
All right. So now with us, we have Brittney and Chantele. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if you got to see the video that we just played there. Dude's great. You have any connections to him at all, to Gallo?
No, not. By the way, thank you for having me. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. No, we don't have any personal connections, but I do know of his music, and I really love, the beat selection. I feel like a lot of his music has really good beat selection. And I also really enjoy the cadence that he picks with his flows. I don't know. I feel like he really rides the beat really well, and that's what I like about him. So I would love to connect at some point for sure.
Honestly, everyone, like our two previous shows, we had some really, really great musicians, really, really great performers on. But when I started getting people together for this show, I was like, all right, holy shit. Like, I've been listening to that playlist at work. I'm tattooing people, and I'm like, they're from Pittsburgh. It's just
Everyone is so good. It's insane.
Yo, I keep saying Pittsburgh has so much talent, and I'm not the only person that says that. And I've recently been calling Pittsburgh the artist incubator, because I think that we really, we do what an incubator does here. We lay the egg, we keep it warm, and then right as soon as it's about to crack or hatch, it moves away. So, I call Pittsburgh the artist incubator.
Part of me, like selfishly wants to keep all of that. Like,
Yeah, I understand that.
part of me does not want, like Goose Geese to be on TV. Like, don't you come in here. And then, but then I'm like, why don't people come to shows? Like, what's, like, there's so much talent here.
And people, I think artists that do move on and get bigger and bigger and bigger, they always explain and reference that they're from Pittsburgh, and you always know they're from Pittsburgh.
There's like
that brings so much attention to the city.
there's an unending 412 connection.
Yeah.
Like, you just had to live here for one solid year, and you're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like, just see like Steelers memorabilia in their background for no reason. You're like,
All
there
around
they
the
are.
country.
Yeah, so they'll spread us, I guess, out. They're just not gonna stay, but they'll spread us. They'll spread the world.
So Brittney, I'm sorry that I just went right into it, but please tell us about
Yeah,
yourself.
You're
I've
good.
listening to your stuff. I heard you before from a bunch of different places. Seems like you're popping up in the city, which is awesome. But tell us how you came to doing this kind of music, and how you
Yeah.
you know how to talk about it.
You're great.
I'm not
I was just gonna say, so we've been listening to your music, and I heard have you done some public speaking work too? I'd love to hear about that.
For sure. Yeah. I love to talk, so I'm gonna try and not get too lengthy on this, but I entered the Pittsburgh music scene actually through spoken word poetry, and it was really because I didn't have the connections to like good music producers when I graduated college. And I always knew that I wanted to perform music. I always knew that I wanted to record, but I just didn't really know anybody. I went to school up at Edinburgh University in Erie, and I knew some people up there, but I didn't really know anyone in Pittsburgh. So, I had to get connected, and I started off by doing spoken word poetry, which in reality was really just my lyrics. I was just speaking on a mic, a cappella and with a certain, a different flow. And I got connected to a first producer and put my first EP out, which I absolutely hate now.
That's usually how it goes. Yeah.
There's way too much auto-tune. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to really ask the producer for what I wanted. And, to be fair, he worked with what I had and, kind of drove the project himself. And then I started to learn more. I think I jumped in and I didn't really know the ins and outs of music business, and which is fine. I think everyone needs to start somewhere. But then I, started to really get involved in first environmental activism. And like my first marches were climate justice marches. And then I kind of was privy to, I got connected to One Hood. And when I got connected to One Hood, that's when everything that I've kind of been saying, background, was in the military, unfortunately, and everything that I kind of woke up to in the military, all the racism, homophobia, transphobia, sexism, etc. in the military, I was able to connect that to the communities in Pittsburgh and bring that to my activism. And so, I call myself an artivist, which I think, is more, it's a more common term now, bringing that artist to activism. And so recently, kind of a fast forward in things because I've done other stuff in between, but recently I put out an album called The Golden Opportunity, which is about my military experience, which is pretty heavy, and I think it's a hard listen for people to listen to over and over again. But I think it's kind of like my new duty. They call, like, when you're in the military, when you have something to do, they call it a duty, and I feel like this is my duty to inform our youth, especially in Pittsburgh. About the realities of the military so that they can make a more informed decision. And that album kind of coincides with what y'all were asking about with my public speaking. So I tried to go to high schools, workshops, after school programs, colleges, universities, whatever it may be, and talk to the youth and to the students about the realities that I face in the military, because I think that too often than not, people have this really, they have rose-colored glasses on that their recruiter put on for them, and they don't get the full facts about what it's like to be in the military. And I have been saying I'm never going to tell no one to not join, but at this point, especially with the recent murder of Vanessa Guillen, I'm kind of screaming from the rooftops that people should not join the military, especially if you're Black, Indigenous, person of color, because they really truly do not care about you. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that and just say that. But
I got to get back on it. I have a question, like, artist to artist. When you started writing, like, anytime I have an idea for something that's maybe more political or maybe that's more negative on less of an individual level and more on, like, there's a problem here or something. And when I put that out, or I put anything out in that public sphere, maybe I'm just not very brave, but when I put stuff out, I'm like, like, what kind of backlash am I, like, what kind of fresh hell is coming for me? Like, how was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I faced backlash in 2017 when I put my EP out, Labels, and that really wasn't even addressing wild issues. Like, that wasn't even all that big. I was, on that EP, I addressed a lot of, it was called Labels. I was addressing the labels that people have attached to me. Being biracial, I've been called Oreo and mulatto and all these different, people referring to me as foods. And so I had to address that.
Funny, so I apologize for laughing, but I know what you mean. It's just like,
I don't want you to call me white chocolate. It's the same thing as, like, somebody calling me a nickname. Like, I didn't even give you consent for that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's a lot of things that I addressed within that song, Labels, but that was, like, one of the things. So I got backlash on that with, I think the cover. There was an alternative cover that was released where I had all of the things that people have called me on my shirt. And a lot of people who I received the backlash from, they didn't know that I was Black. So they just saw me as this white girl saying that I was called XYZ. And I don't know. But they what'd you say?
So I have, like, a secondhand headache for you. Like,
thank you. I mean, I'm sorry.
I was just like,
yeah. And so, I got a lot of backlash on that. So I feel like, I had like basically what I'm trying to say is that was kind of like my first step to seeing, like, how, like, haters on your music really are, and, like, how haters are on your creativity. And, it took me a little bit to get through all of that. I really let it affect me And it was a lot of like Instagram DMs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I really, really let that affect me. And I had to have, several people talk me through it honestly. And just be like, Britt, like, this is going to keep happening. If you're going to continue to make music, whether it's, about social justice or not, activism related or not, you're going to continue to get haters. And, through that I learned, and I learned a lot about myself too, and about my self-confidence and my self-esteem. And with this recent project, I had a lot of haters come out, and the majority of them were veterans. Veterans hate when other people say, F the military, F war. I'm not talking about every single veteran, but the great majority. They believe that is an attack on their personal experience, and it's not. It's just me speaking my truth and my piece. And I couldn't believe, in a sense, that I had veterans coming at me about a song that was about my military sexual trauma. But then at the same time, I took a step back and I was just like, I can believe it. Because if you look at all of the hate on Twitter around the Me Too movement, if you look at all of the hate everywhere, I can believe it. And, it's hard. It's hard when you're getting Instagram DMs and people are, blowing up your social media with all the hate and stuff like that. But you really got to find a way to distance yourself from it and move on. Because as long as you're speaking your truth and speaking your piece, and, you're doing it, so, in a way that isn't problematic, I mean, you got to keep pushing on.
So, first, I think you're fantastic.
Thank you.
I actually, the first time I ever encountered you outside of a musical sense was on that Know Your Rights panel with Jerry Dickinson and Lisa Middleman. And a lot of the stuff you were saying there it was just on point. And I just appreciated the way that you articulate yourself and the fact that you are willing to talk about things that a lot of people aren't. I do that myself. As for the haters thing, prayers, because people just suck, and that's just it. But I do appreciate the way that you handle it, and the fact that you kind of reach the point where you realize it is what it is. That's where I'm at. Like, not everybody's gonna love everything you do, and you just keep throwing that positive. Even when it's not something that other people see as positive, it's positive via the impact you're making.
Mm-hmm.
And it's spurring these conversations that people really just were not ready to fuck with. Like, they're just like, I'm not talking about it.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. It's military. Hands off.
I think that's why it's so important to have those conversations.
Yeah.
Because grabbing me is so necessary. I mean, having conversations about a standard that people think they know about and they can trust in, but really it's sort of a lie, or at least it's
and you're not allowed to talk about it.
You're not allowed to talk about it.
Like, because if you say anything
faux pas.
to a veteran about anything,
Yeah.
which, I mean, I understand, this is an experience I have no say in and don't completely understand, but you're not allowed to question it either.
Right. It's untouchable. And I think that's completely off the table.
So
You can't
confronting
do
it
that. Yeah.
be a veteran to veteran,
So
that's unique.
What your work, like your work and your art, I think is so important, and I love being able to hear your voice in this conversation, and because it's I think it's something everyone should hear.
If you don't mind me asking, what spurred your decision to join the military? Was it some of the recruiter-fed BS, or was it like a desire to do something more? I don't know, because I'm always curious about this, because I never had that same desire. I never had like some patriotism, all that. So what did it for you?
Yeah, totally. It was a little bit of a mixture of everything. The military spends, and I know that this is a very wide range number, and it's kind of like, wow, those two numbers are really different. Which one is it? But it depends on the source that you look into and the year. But the military spends between $1 billion and $20 billion per year on recruitment. And that includes JROTC programs, Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps programs, which are in high schools. And so I would say, the biggest thing that compelled me to join was my high school's JROTC program, which was a Marine Corps program. And I wasn't really good at sports. I was good at football, but, my parents weren't about to let me play on the boys team. So or I'd like to think I was good at football. But, you know, I didn't have that experience that I was yearning for, kind of like that captain of the football team experience, until I started to excel in Marine Corps JRTC. And I quickly rose to the top rankings in my class, and I was the youngest commander of the battalion, and I was in color guard drill team, and I was on the shooting team. And so, you know, I did really, really well, and my instructors were my biggest mentors and the people that I looked up to most. And they're constantly, you know, JRTC is there to recruit kids. And that's that, you know, like we went on really dope field trips. Like, you know, I got to see Black Hawk helicopters in front of me. And, you know, when you're 14, 15, 16, and you get to leave school and go and check out a Black Hawk helicopter, you know, it's cool. It's great. So, you know, I like to think that that's really what motivated me. It felt like a family. It felt like it was the one thing that I was good at. And what they try to do is they try to tell you that JRTC is just like the military, which it is not.
Yeah, that's it.
There's a big difference. I mean, you're in JRTC for an hour and 15 minutes, you know, within a class period in high school, and, you know, maybe an after school, you know, 2 hours or something like that. When you're in the real military, that's 24/7, you know. So, and it isn't like a family for me. It wasn't. Like I said, I have military sexual trauma experiences, and I can't call people, you know, my brother and my sister when that stuff is happening. So I'm going to blame it mostly on JRTC, you know, being that driving factor, and also just a fear of being in debt and wanting my school paid for. So
when you talk about like that sense of family that's supposed to be in the military, that isn't the same experience for everyone, and how you found one hood and you got involved in activism. Do you think that there is the same sense of family within the activist community as a whole, or do you feel there's different sects that are getting along better? Do you feel that there are schisms? How do you feel about the sense of family in the activism community?
yeah, you know, when it comes to One Hood, like that's family for me. You know what I'm saying? And they're not the only organization or you know, collective or group of activists that I feel is family to me. You know, there's Black Ops. You know, that's family to me. And you know, I do think that there's a little bit of a divide, especially in Pittsburgh activism, and it's been quite honestly disheartening for me to see. At the same time, when I say I'm surprised to see it, I'm also not surprised to see it, you know, and I think it's really unfortunate. And I would love for everyone to come together and be with the same intention and be with the same drive and the same passion, same values, same morals, but it just ain't going to happen, you know, and like I think that's just the realism of it, you know. I talk about this too. There's different hip hop scenes within Pittsburgh. You know, I went to a show, I believe it was in January, at, what was it, Smiling Moose in the South Side. And I only knew there was like maybe 13 performers, hip hop performers, and I only knew one of them. And before that, I really thought that I was really immersed in Pittsburgh hip hop. Like I thought I knew everyone, you know, and I don't. And that was a huge wake up call for me, and that just happened this year. So, you know, like there's a reason why there's these different hip hop communities, and there's a reason why there's these different activist communities, because people got different intentions, and people are gonna, you know, hang out with their families. And I think that's, you know, that's my opinion, and I could be wrong, but that's where I come from on that. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it did. Like it's cool getting other perspectives. Like because that's kind of the same thing I see. Like you just have a bunch of different moving parts moving differently.
Yeah.
I want to ask you more about the scene, but I want to get to our next video first, and talk about the next artist we have coming up. So Destin, you want to take it away?
Yeah, let's hear something from Brittney. This is Jedi.
Yeah, there we go.
know her.
I can feel the force from my girl's home. When a Jedi calls my cell phone, it's 3 a.m., so something must be dead wrong. Someone must be dead gone, something must be wrong. I can feel the force from my girl's home. When a Jedi calls my cell phone, it's 3 a.m., so something must be dead wrong. Someone must be dead gone, something must be wrong. Sorry, I ain't know who else to call, but I'm in the mood to end it all. People here treat me like a dog, cause I froze when my sergeant died, trying to save us all. I tried to reach for help, but no one takes my hand. They'd rather laugh and mock the mental state I'm in. I tried the psych, but him and Sergeant, they were friends. So instead of giving help, he would rather reprimand. Flashbacks of blood lying in the sand. If I could, I swear I'd do it all again. But on duty, fear makes you less a man, so it probably should have been me to die instead of him. Brittney, why should I live? I'm a piece of shit. Could you talk me off this fucking cliff? I swear I wanna load a fucking clip, but instead I'll beg for help. I'm by myself, so I need it quick. I can feel the force from my girl's home. When a Jedi calls my cell phone, it's 3 a.m., so something must be dead wrong. Someone must be dead gone, something must be wrong. I can feel the force from my girl's home. When a Jedi calls my cell phone, it's 3 a.m., so something must be dead wrong. Someone must be dead gone, something must be wrong.
All right, if you're just joining us, that was Brittney Chantele with Jedi. That is an absolutely amazing video.
Thank you. Yeah, that was Cunning Folk Films on the production, on the direction, everything. So shout out to them.
You said that's your newest one. When did you throw that up?
Yeah, I threw that up on PTSD Awareness Day, which I don't even know what month is it right now. It's July. That was last month, almost like to the day. And yeah, threw that up then. So
Sorry, we're getting nervous.
hey, do what you gotta do.
You mentioned you wanted.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about, like, maybe I'm just not inundated at all in that scene, but all of us here, you know, me and Destin and Noah especially, have been in the music scene for over a decade. We have our Southern Gothic project now. Like when you said, like, oh, a lot of people don't like my music because it's heavy, like you're talking about right people.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I was playing metal, I thought like, oh, there's nowhere to play in Pittsburgh, you know, and I would get super angry about things. And the only place that I can think of that had like consistently great like hip hop, soul, rap shows was Shadow Lounge. And one of the conversations I've been having over and over this week is like, where do y'all play?
Yeah.
For lack of a better, like, I guess that's like a stupid way to say it.
So you let us know the Smiling Moves, and which
yeah, no,
I
but sometimes at the Smiling Moose or at Club Cafe.
Yeah.
Are there other hotspots?
Yeah, you know, like I think that they're changing. They have been changing actively. You know, like just as anything. But you know, when I started to perform, I did perform a lot at Smiling Moose. This was like 2015, 2016. And then I kind of moved more towards like Garfield and Lawrenceville areas to perform. So
like any spot or
what'd you say?
At Garfield Artworks or where in Garfield?
Well, you know, like Roboto, Mr. Roboto project was a huge, you know, that was like that was like, I would love performing there. I still do.
Yeah.
Great
It's an
venue.
intimate crowd. So, you know, performing there and Boom Concepts, you know, that's a big one as well. But, you know, like recently, I've been playing a lot at Mr. Smalls, and now we have Thunderbird. Cativo also is a big one. Spirit is a big
Okay.
one.
There's a scene where it honestly sounds like a very similar scene. I mean, we played at those places.
Yeah, I've
Just
been
the
there all
same,
these
yeah.
places.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, actually, my first couple gigs at Roboto were mixed genre gigs. Like, there were two punk bands on before me, and then a metal band after. And to be real, I have been trying to like tell people to bring back mixed genre shows, because for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me not believing in having cross genre fans, or like I need to be more open minded to that. But the punk and metal and rock fans were some of the people that paid the most attention to my music. They like really, you could tell they really listened to the lyrics that I was saying. They talked to me after the show and they were like, yo, that one song, they were able to like repeat the lyrics to me. And I was like, whoa, I've never experienced this before.
It could just be, you know, you hear the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I've been to probably 562 really horrible metal shows, you know?
At least
Probably.
Probably. And you get, you know, it's the same thing over and over again. I think for me in a metal show, it could be anything else, and I would be so.
Oh, even that little change, you know?
Yeah, I think the one thing we've started to notice, maybe one of the only good things, you know, happening in 2020 is like, what even is genre anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you tell us about about the scene in Pittsburgh?
About, you know, hip hop scene specifically?
Yeah. I mean, all the scenes that you're connected to, because I wouldn't consider you just one. Again, what is genre?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, like first and foremost, I'm gonna start off by saying that I don't know everything. Clearly, like as I just stated, I learned 11 new hip hop artists in January in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I don't know everything, and I'm not the speaker for the hip hop community in Pittsburgh. You know, I don't speak for everyone, but what I will say is that it's growing, and I think there's a lot more youth that are stepping into hip hop and are performing, and I want to see them get way more recognition than they do. I mean, like, there's just some dope artists. Also, artists who are currently in college right now. Not saying that you have to go to college to be an artist, not saying that at all. But I feel like maybe they don't have like the means to tap into the venues, or they don't know people or whatever like that. But there's some really dope artists that are in college right now that I feel don't really get performance opportunities as much as other artists do. So yeah, I think the hip hop scene in Pittsburgh is growing, and it's growing fast. I feel like with COVID and quarantine, it's probably growing faster than we may even realize. There's a lot of people who have picked up recording equipment and started recording in their own places and stuff like that. And I think we're about to see a lot of really, really dope projects coming out, whether that's singles or EPs or albums, music videos, whatever. I think we're about to see a lot of dope stuff come. And I just hope that no matter where we are with the COVID situation and quarantine, I hope that it gets the proper recognition, you know.
You talked about that Pittsburgh as an incubator, and I think that what you just said is right on the money, because that's exactly what's going to happen. You know, we've seen this weird shutdown of so many things, but people are now in a creative space at home and trying new things. And oh, thank you. And yeah, I think you're totally right. I bet it'll explode. You know, it's already. You just said it's already growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, for sure.
Destin, do we want to go to the next one?
Yeah, so let's hear from Quayshawn Sly.
I'm so
Oh,
excited.
oh,
Ah!
This one's
So
awesome.
good.
Pittsburgh Creative Collective, baby. I want it. You want it. Been stirring up in these feelings for a while. Must admit, I guess my head is in the clouds. Every time the weekend bursts, you give a smile. You said you won't give up on me, that you'll forever be down. You don't listen to the gossip in the crowds. These connections ain't all so loud. You said you'd rather be loyalty. Let's keep learning one another, never disrespect the loyalty. I want it, yeah. You want it, yeah. We want it, yeah. Let's get up on it. Every time the weekend bursts, you give a smile. You're just glowing in the sun, I'm like, wow. The highlight of it all is when you smile. You said you won't give up on me, that will forever be down. You don't listen to the gossip in the crowd. These connections ain't all so loud. We said we'll always be in loyalty. Let's get learning one another, never disrespect the loyalty. Yeah, 'cause I want it, yeah. And you want it, yeah. And we want it, yeah. Let's get up on it, yeah. I want it just as bad as you do. You want it as I get closer to you. Keep it coming so steady with you, yeah. It feels so good, overdosing on you. 'Cause I want it, and you want it, and we want it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want it, you want it, we want it, yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I want it, yeah, we want it, yeah, you want it, yeah. Let's get up on it, yeah. I want it, you want it, we want it, yeah, 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 yeah.
You can ask me about the album.
All right, we are back. That was Quayshawn Sly. Whew, man, that was good.
So great. He looks like he's on like a late night show.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
Yeah, he does.
That was super dope.
Yeah, Destin, you have any comments on that video at all? I want to bring you into the fray.
Yeah, that was I absolutely loved that. Like the congas and I mean just the whole vibe of the video, the background, like
Oh, yeah, his view. Oh my god.
Yeah. And he threw that together. He told me like, oh yeah, my band fell through, so I got some people together and just like did it. Sorry about the quality.
It was
and
great.
it's like
It was awesome.
like a humble brag.
That's the
It's
first- yeah,
like
right.
it's so good.
It's the first thing he said was like, this looks like it's on like the Tonight Show or something. It's so cool.
Yeah. I've been listening to his stuff a lot this week.
Man, I want to hear more. I want to listen to more.
So you said you know his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've listened to a few things of his. I was introduced like to his music from a mutual friend, but it kind of speaks back to that. You never know what all is going on, even though you live in the city.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I was ignorant to a lot of the stuff like musically going on in this city because I have the habit of just listening to whatever is on Spotify, and that's just the truth of it. I didn't go out and see a bunch of local shows. I didn't get to appreciate a bunch of local music. and like you have that idea of so many of your friends just starting something that either isn't necessarily the best. And then you
Sorry.
I think you're fucking fantastic, first off. But, you know, coming from where we came from, that was the norm. Where everybody wanted to do something, and it wasn't about quality, it was about quantity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I have 46 songs out, and you're going to listen to like 47 of them. And you're like, how? But especially after moving here, I was just exposed to so much talent, and it's mind-blowing because it makes you feel small. Like, I write, that's one of my big things, and then you look at all the other talented people, and you're like, oh, I'm not shit. And,
I mean, I don't know about anything.
but it is that feeling because you end up being blind and ignorant to a lot of the great things going around you, and that's one of the best parts of living here and like being forced to be exposed to better people. I love it.
Again, I talk about this all the time, but they say like the new way of any sort of performing is you're not famous for 15 minutes anymore, you're famous for 15 people. There's so much good music, and you can be a middle class artist. You can be a middle class performer, a middle class musician, and like use all the technology we have to zero in on exactly who your fans are, find them, go to those areas, tour,
and make sure that they're able to see you and hear you and find your fan base.
Yeah, Destin, was it you I was talking to about Henry Rollins and how he listens to music?
I can't remember. Maybe
he's like he only listens to like his favorites on the. I'll probably get this wrong. Somebody in the comments can correct me. I've been looking at them, but he only listens to new music on like I think Sundays, and that's his cheat day. You know, and the rest of the week he listens to 3 new albums he's never heard before, and like sits and like fully immerses himself.
I really like that.
And so, and like,
That's
I don't
awesome.
know if I could do it. Like, I remember being a teenager and constantly new music, like just have that hunger for it. And now I'm just like, I'm gonna listen to Local Pack again.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't have the attention span sometimes to listen to an album all the way. I don't have the attention span for a lot of things, which is why my conversations are always like this.
But I'm
But
not like an album people anymore.
I'm personally just not. It takes a lot for me to like start one and finish it all the way through. So for me, it's like, oh, I'll listen to this song off this album today, and if it happens to play into another song, that's how I end up getting introduced to it, because I don't specifically set out to look for a whole album. That's just me.
I think I'm like, I don't know. It makes me feel like kind of an asshole, but like I'm the kind of person that like I want to buy the vinyl, and I'll sit here with my drink in the dark, you know, with some whiskey. Well, I mean, really just listening to brand new.
I think going and seeing local music though is the best way to like realize or find something you didn't even know you loved.
Oh yeah.
You know,
if you go to shows,
if
everybody
you go
just
to
likes to
shows.
complain about the scene.
Right.
And it's like, oh, how many local shows do you go to? And they're like, what?
Like
It's not like doing it after a while.
Well,
Yeah.
it's Gordon.
Yeah.
So, speaking of albums,
very nice.
why don't you tell us about yours, Brittney?
Yeah, so you know, I wanted to make an album that reflected a lot of the issues within the military. I definitely didn't touch on all of them. I feel like that album would be 30 songs long if I did that. So I just, you know, I tried to bring my very personal and vulnerable stories to the forefront to address the issues. You know, the main issues revolve around xenophobia, homophobia, and military sexual trauma, which, you know, I had a very weird out of the military. I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia after a military sexual trauma experience. And there's a lot of different, sorry if y'all hear my cat meow.
I'll be mad if I don't. That's her baby.
Come here, bud. You know, a lot of doctors think differently about how fibromyalgia forms, but a lot of research is showing that fibromyalgia is actually a response to trauma. And so my exit out of the military was me being diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which was like honestly bittersweet because it was like my ticket out. So I talk about that on the album and how they refused to acknowledge that fibromyalgia was caused by them. They 100% just believed, oh, well, that's genetic. They told me that fibromyalgia was genetic when no one else in my family has it, et cetera, et cetera. So I went through a lot of bullshit just getting out. So I talk about that on the album, and also talk about JRTC, and I also talk about ROTC, which I did as well, which is the college version, basically. And when you finish ROTC, you become an officer in the military. So I kind of went through all those different experiences and kind of took people on a journey from honestly age 14 to 25, and how I feel about the military now and what changed my mind and why. And like I said, I think it's an important project, and it's probably, for me, I don't know the words to put it yet, because like I love my last project, A Fire on Venus, but to give people an idea of how much it means to me, when I perform A Fire on Venus, which is my album about queer love, if I'm performing a lot of songs, like 40 minutes, I look down at the set list and I see that I have 6 songs left, and I'm like, damn, when's this gonna be over? But when I look down at the set list for when I'm performing songs from A Golden Opportunity, I look down at the set list and I have 2 songs left, and I'm like, damn, I don't want this to end. And I think that has showed me a lot about where my passions and my creativity align with like my purpose, if that makes sense. Like I just kind of feel like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be and this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Excuse my ignorance, just total complete ignorance, but were you in the military during Don't Ask, Don't Tell then?
So very interestingly, I actually joined like a week after, or I was at basic training. I arrived at basic training like a week or like 5 days after Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed.
And I imagine going into a basic training, like waving rainbow flags,
Let me tell you. Yeah, it was, even in 2016, whenever I was in a training environment in Fort Lee, Virginia, it was really bad, being out. Like I was very open about it because I knew that I was on my way out, pretty much. So I was just very, very open about identifying as a lesbian, and it didn't make things easier for me. So
yeah, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't.
There's just so much to say.
There's a lot, right?
Yeah.
But you clearly have a mission, and you describing what it looks like to look down at the set list and being like, shit, I wish I could do more. I mean, that's so inspiring to hear, that you found at least one aspect that's like, this is what I want to do, and this needs to be said, and it's great to hear about that.
Well, I can't imagine like the impact that it's having on other queer people in the military who have no visibility, who have no venue to talk about these things, no one to connect with. And even though Don't Ask, Don't Tell is over, I can't imagine that you can openly talk about these things. And again, total complete ignorance. This is just me, mouthing off, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we've never been. I mean, this is...
But to make it visible is just, incredible.
Yeah. A really good, unfortunate, relatable thing that's happening right now is the murder of Vanessa Guillen. She was about to report sexual harassment and assault and was murdered. And that's a scenario. There's a reason why the hashtag I am Vanessa Guillen exists. Because so many women, so many non-men, so many Black, Indigenous, people of color, veterans who have been involved in, people who have been involved in the military know what it's like to have been harassed and or assaulted and not believed, not taken seriously, be threatened, if you come forward. And the reality of that is that it's not, that just doesn't happen in the military, as we know. That happens in the civilian world as well. But there's a reason why that hashtag exists. And that's been a huge point of the album too, is to be like, hey, like, there's a real danger to joining the military. And you're told that everybody is gonna be your brother and sister and have your back and take a bullet for you. And you're told about these amazing places that you'll get to see. But you're never told about, your bunkmate might rape you. You never hear that from a recruiter. A recruiter isn't going to tell you that. So it is really heavy, but I find it necessary to talk about. I had a woman approach me after a performance, and she was crying, and she was just like, I was in the military for 24 years and retired as a lieutenant colonel. And she was like, until I heard your music, I think I've been in complete denial about what happened to me. And that was something that was kind of like the first instance of me being like, holy shit, I had no idea what this project was going to do for people. So.
Do you have any other resources that you know of for queer people, for people of color, for that have been in the military or are active duty? Because I know a ton of veterans in the queer community or active duty people who are in the queer community that feel like they don't have a community.
Yeah.
Are there any resources that are there?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are popping up with social media now. There's a lot of communities, like, I like to call them like virtual communities now, especially with the times that we're in. There's many Instagram profiles for queer veterans. There's one for trans veterans as well. And like, if anyone wants or needs those resources, I could definitely, if you reach out, I can definitely send them to you. And for anybody, I'm like a big advocate of getting people out of the military. But I have to be real that not everybody wants out, even if they are experiencing, hate in any way, they still want to be in. Because the military, for them, is bigger than that hate, being a part of something like that. So I'm not gonna, comment on that. But if people do want out, there are ways to get out. And the biggest resource that I can pass on for that is the GI Rights Hotline. And if you call the GI Rights Hotline, especially for the folks who are being activated against protesters right now, if you do not want to be activated, you do not have to follow those orders. So people can call the GI Rights Hotline. They have a website. If you just Google that, it will pop up. They have I think they have an online chat now too. So they are trained professionals and they've been doing it for years, and they tell you exactly what you need to know to either refuse orders or to get out.
Wow.
Brittney, thank you. We'll be sure to put the GI Rights Hotline up in the comment section so people can see it if they know anyone that wants to reach out, or if they themselves want to reach out. It sounds like a great resource for them to utilize. And Destin, do we have something else to throw up?
I think that are we saying goodbye to Brittney now? Can we keep Brittney
Can
longer?
we keep Brittney?
Keep her forever? I don't remember what the schedule is.
So next up we have Lila Rhodes.
Okay, then we're keeping you.
Love Lila. I can't wait.
Are we
the East Coast blues. Pack your bags and get your clothes, and my heart is saying go. Everywhere till I get cold, I can't venture on my own. In my soul, I truly know every day is something gold. Walk away when you get sold. Find something that makes you glow. Whoa. I know I love the East Coast blues. Where do we go? Oh, the East Coast blues. San Diego coming home. New Orleans capture my soul. On the way to Chicago, take a plane to Mexico. If you feel it, let it flow. Keep that rhythm in your bones. Much love to everyone I know. Ready for something more bold. I know I got the East Coast blues. Where do we go? With the East Coast blues.
high vibration. And if that's so, the song I hear will be the plug of the nation. I'm rolling one up while I'm writing. My diving in places I usually don't go. If I walk in a room with my third eye closed, energy was off when we met. But I said, maybe it's your talk that you learned before you could think for yourself. No excuses. One who loses is the one walk away. Don't know what the truth is. Now I know that I'm done with using my time on you. You will never know good news. I did everything for you. Now I'm staying away from you. I gave all of my time to you. I did everything for you. If you knew better, you should do. But you wasted my time, so I'm done with you.
This is a grown man posting pictures like this.
Okay, we are back. That was Layla Rhodes. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we were mispronouncing your name, we're so sorry, but I think we got it. It's
Oh
Layla.
man, yes. Thank you, Brittney.
Yeah.
Brittney, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I actually first saw them perform at Mr. Roboto Project. And it was for the Antoine Rose fundraiser. And that was in, like, I think that was March or like the first week of April in 2019. And that was the first time I saw them live. And it was just so dope. I actually still have video of it because it was like, I think she was like looping something at the same time while playing. And that for me is like, that's a skill that like, I have not gotten down yet. And honestly, who knows if I ever will. I don't really play an instrument, but I just admire that skill so much. I think it's so dope. And then also just the singing is just on point. So I really dig that video. I'm actually gonna go back and watch that because I think that I think it's just so dope. The work that she continuously puts out. Recently put a single out on Spotify, I believe, and I cannot remember what it's called, unfortunately, but I'm gonna pull it up and see what it's called. But yeah, dope shit.
Solo or with a group? Is it all just like looping one man band style?
I think it is, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So they have 2 singles out on Spotify. Principles, which is the one that I was talking about because that's like the latest release. And then Santa Ana Wins, and that was in 2019. And I've definitely listened to both of them. But yeah, like I really make sure you follow these people. Follow everyone that's been watching. Please follow everyone's Instagrams or. You know, if they don't have an Instagram, go to their Facebook page, go to their website, go on Spotify, and actually hit the follow button. You know what I mean? Like, that's important. Yeah.
I listened to Santa Ana Wins, you mentioned it, right before we did the show. I was like, this is incredible. Like, this is on all my playlists now. It's getting heard all the time. Like, it was fantastic.
When we go to the next video, I'll definitely post up again our Spotify playlist. I was just blown away by all the people on there, and not everybody was able to get onto the show tonight. There were, a few people with technical difficulties or family troubles or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, we got another show next month. They're coming.
Exactly.
But please check out that Spotify playlist. Just click on their little names, go on there, follow them. As a fellow artist, I can say it means so much. I think, Destin, we have 14 monthly followers? If Bonnie and the
Something like that, yeah.
Followers, I'll be like, yay! I know. I go on and look constantly. How many people like me?
So seriously, thank you to everyone watching, but all the artists who sent us things, who will watch us for the whole rest of the show. It means the world. I mean, we get to do this, and we get to spread all this Pittsburgh talent around. It's so great.
I'm so excited to meet all of these artists and performers that I like. Again, like I've been playing live music for, I don't know, 12, 13 years. And I thought that I was pretty, like you said, like well inundated into all of the Pittsburgh scenes and all of the stuff. And doing this show has just shown me like, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so much more.
In the best way possible.
Yeah. And you talked about multi-genre shows. Some of the best, my favorite shows I've ever played were multi-genre. A rock band and a soul group or an R&B group and some rapping, and they're awesome. They're incredible experiences, and you have people getting to hear music they've never heard or they've heard a little bit but they didn't know they liked, and it's so much fun for us too because we get to really support each other and support each other's craft.
Yeah.
So again, thank you to everybody watching.
I feel like I should make a joke about Gorilla Productions. I don't remember. Maybe I'll remember that. There's some sort of joke. But yeah.
It's funny because like if you talk to most people and you ask them what their favorite genre is, they'll give you an answer.
Yeah.
But if you actually listen to most people's playlists, their favorite genre isn't necessarily the one that appears the most. Like if you actually put someone's phone on random, you're gonna find so many things. Like I honestly get embarrassed to put my phone on random sometimes because people literally like break their necks to turn and look at me and go, "What the hell was that?" And I'm like, "Just a little country mode."
But you know what?
And then you just never talk about it again. You're just sitting there in silence, like,
hey, I mean,
it's just like 5 songs. But it happens, and I think that a lot of people did have access to like multi-genre shows. They would be more willing to admit that they or stuff, and it would kind of remove the stigma from actually enjoying non-stereotypical genres. Like Tanisha likes things outside of rap.
Right.
Bonnie likes rap. So I think that we should encourage that more.
Yes. I'm sorry, my husband has brought us some hot dogs and crescent rolls from Hebrew National.
Amazing.
He's a wonderful man.
With sauces.
with multiple sauces. But yeah, I mean, overwhelmingly, my whole job is, when I tattoo people, it's one-on-one. It's me spending time touching a stranger on their body for hours and having, that's what it's sort of intimate.
We're gonna work on the descriptions.
And having like sometimes intimate conversations with them. But the biggest thing is always, all right, what music do you want me to put on? And everyone's either like, oh, I like everything, or someone says, oh, I like everything but country and rap.
Yeah.
Country and rap, and it's like, oh, okay, you just, like more people.
Whoa. What's wild is just like how many genres are like actually interviewed, and like how you were saying that there's genres are just so.
What is genre?
What is genre? Because like I feel like there was like a tier, like I feel like it's like a family tree, and there was like these main genres, and now they're just like getting subdivided to a point where people will ask me, yo, what genre is your album in? I'm like,
Quick.
pop, R&B, jazz, Cali.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I don't know, but yeah.
Influence everywhere, it's not just in a box.
Yeah.
And drawing on it is one of the best things you can do to be creative.
But what I love about that is I hope, because again, like I can only speak from like the metal genre, but you have like these sub genres created where someone's like, I only like crabcore. And it's like, oh, have fun listening to the same 5 bands for the rest of your life. And then one of those bands decides to put a new drum beat in one of their songs. And they're like, they sold out. The Linkin Park. It's the Linkin Park effect. But I'm hoping that, I'll show you later. Okay. I'm hoping that this genre melding that people are doing will lead to just people being okay with experimentation and listening to more genres of music and being okay with that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think too with the internet, people are discovering music from so many eras that they previously would have been cut off from. Because, like, you know, in the past you just listened to whatever was on the radio or MTV, but now you have all of Spotify. So people are not only just going back within like the last 50 years, but the last 100 years. And I mean, it's almost like not only does genre not matter, but time doesn't matter either.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, I think has to do with a lot of the social media apps. Like when you're able to like scroll through TikTok and you just hear something for 15 seconds. Or like when Instagram comes out with Filter or Snapchat where it has a video attached. You're introduced to something you wouldn't necessarily listen to, but you were kind of thrown into listening to it just by scrolling through your feed. And a lot of the younger generation, like we don't care. Like we're like, all right, well we're just gonna do this, so you're just gonna like it. And the stigma's there, but it doesn't matter. We're just gonna do it. I don't care. We're gonna do this.
So, Brittney, I think we have to say goodbye to you now. But before we do, one, I want to say again, because I haven't said it in a while, we have our Venmo, which is at Pittsburgh Creative Collective. And if everything that's being donated or everything in lieu of admission, we want to pay to see the show, we will be giving 100% of that to Tanisha's Black Lives Matter Children's Book Fund. So your money will directly, it's what, $10 a book?
We average it about $10 a book. Some are a little bit more expensive, and those are like some of my favorite titles. Like What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Blacker. That's more for the teen audience, or like Soe by Lupita Nyong'o. Those are ones we're spending the extra on.
Yeah.
So but it averages out at $10 a book.
Well, if you donate $10, you can go to bed, pop your little head on your little pillow, and say, some little kid's gonna read a book because of me. And what's
a little bit blacker.
What's better than that?
And they're going to at some point. It's not.
And they're going to give it to another kid and another kid.
It's not like a maybe. It's going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've been buying mad books.
Yeah.
So if you're like me
Hundreds.
and we got lucky and we didn't have to pay our mortgage during this pandemic and you still got that stimulus check, like give it to some kids. You filthy animals.
I think like if people had been there, like other people have been there yesterday and just seen how exciting it was for these kids. Like when we had readers there reading them to the individual groups of kids. Yeah. And we had like even other activist groups, like Deja from Pittsburgh I Can't Breathe, she was reading a book to these little kids and they were just so excited. And like a lot of them were just looking at the pictures and like kind of seeing themselves. And it was incredible. Like you just get all sad and like worked up. You're like, yeah, that's you.
Give money to the children.
You're a princess. And it was so cool. Like I don't know. I'm kind of not over that part. It's my favorite.
So I wanted to say that because we need to keep harping on that as much as
And
possible.
I also want to interject. It was GI Rights, correct?
Yeah, GI Rights Hotline.
I want to make that known. The GI Rights Hotline. Call if anything we talked about with Brittney interested you or you think it would interest anyone who's looking for this kind of help or community.
Post about it.
Share it. Yeah. Anything you can do, be guaranteed to help somebody. So thank you. Thank you, Brittney, for mentioning it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, any links? Like I want everybody to follow you.
Yeah.
So please tell us how we can support you, your music, your activism. Do you have any closing thoughts? What can we do for you?
Yeah, the best way, honestly, I have a link tree in my, Instagram bio, but I think the easiest way to access all of my links is just going to my website. So it's BrittneyChantele.com. Just make sure you spell it right. BrittneyChantele.com. And you'll find all my links on there. There's a link to donate. There's a link to listen to my music and whatnot. So that'd be the best thing. And then closing thoughts, not all veterans are jagoffs. Not all veterans are proud to say that they're veterans. I know I'm not. And with the current climate and stuff like that, if you can't get out and protest and be in the streets, if you can't physically do that, if you're immunocompromised and COVID is a worry for you, any reason, I'm not here to judge you of why you're not out in the streets. Please make sure you're doing something else, donating, spreading awareness, sharing, talking to your friends, talking to your family, etc. But yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
so
so
much
much.
for being on. Yeah, we love you.
Absolutely. Love y'all.
And take care, buddy.
All right, peace.
All right, next we have to restart our chat, but we're gonna go to Mulu.
Great.
All right.
Divide and conquer so deadly. Man with the power, so men not friendly. Man is an actor, the masses pretending. The world ain't burning unless that shit trending. Death for dishonor, that means death to the honchos. That means the people are hostile, that means the leaders are hollow. False idols want praise, but they don't wanna be followed. They don't wanna be called on, I really can't blame them. Some do it for the love, some do it to get famous. But you gotta know the power you hold, woes the brainless. The tongue's like a powerful sword, none are stainless. My body count alone gets heinous. My love for the craft that a renaissance painters. My soul ancient, whitewashed and black-faced, I'm fist raising, pacing. While the masses out here cloud chasing, grabbing this selfie just to say they made changes. I take one to the face while the queen likes the sage make the evil shake. How much you expect the people to take? It's kinda hard thinking there ain't something more behind the tapes, distracting us by the death of our people every day. And my fam on the white side showing hate. Folks telling me I got some good hair for my shade. It could be worse, they can hang me in the shade like a decoration of hate, but they'll re-gift us a holiday. Small victories, false security. There's more to it than they let you see. Born and raised but been treated like a refugee. And you gon' tell me it don't exist cause you don't see what I see. Divide and conquer so deadly. Man with the power, so men not friendly. Man is an actor, the masses pretending. The world ain't burning unless that shit trending. White folks saying that all lives matter. Black folks looking like we ain't said it didn't. Try to show them where we coming from, but they don't listen. Celebrities taking responsibility for appearance, but y'all don't do it when you see it. I don't believe it. Am I the only niggas reading in between the speeches? Am I the only one that's really worried about them secrets? Feeling like a Mr. Robot sequel, but I ain't Elliot, nah, I'm Joey Bad. Trying to help the homies out, blunt after blunt, cause I don't think that I'll make it out. Passing wisdom that'll miss them cause they live in theirs. I ain't mad, brother, I wish you well. Divide and conquer so deadly. Man with the power, so men not friendly. Man is an actor, the masses pretending. The world ain't burning unless that shit trending. Divide and conquer so deadly. Man with the power, so man not friendly. Man is an actor, man is an actor, man is an actor. Yeah. Open your eyes, open your mind. We are the keys to each other's locks. But where's the profit in that? I'm a slave, you a slave, we all slaves who gon' break the chains. I'm a slave, you a slave, we all slaves who gon' break the chains. I'm a slave, you a slave, we all slaves who gon' break the chains. Who gon' break the chains.
All right, we are back.
Yeah, we are just waiting to bring T-Funk on here. It's on the left. Up, up,
Yep.
right there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. We're down to just 2 bubbles now.
It's getting lonely in here.
No, I mean the chat. Yeah. So that was Mulu. I didn't get to see a lot of that one, but I really enjoyed the stuff. I really enjoyed seeing it.
We talked about it earlier today.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually look on the playlist and look at, because I went through everybody's stuff and just found my favorite ones.
The playlist over the past day or so listening to it. It just, I mean, I can't believe how much we've said this, but how much talent there is in the city. But
I know.
Every song on this playlist is awesome. I mean, it's so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
hashtag bar.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a banger, but that one's great. Lulu, we really enjoy you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna help get T-Funk. Oh, here he comes in here.
Hey.
You good?
I'm here.
All
What's
right.
going on?
What's going
Not
on?
much. How we doing?
Good.
Good.
We are 2 drinks and 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours
The
in.
second drink went faster.
The second drink.
Yeah.
It's not faster.
How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking.
So first off, I've been wanting to ask you, I guess we'll get to your community gardening thing, but
Yes.
I wanted to talk to you about Solarburn and how y'all fit into the scene, how things have been for you, what you're working on, so forth. Give us the rundown.
Right on. We don't fit into the scene. We never really have. I joined the band 10 years ago about. They had just formed. It was a trio. Well, it was going to be a 4-piece. They didn't have a bassist at the time. There was vocals in the band. It was very much closer to being a straight-ahead thrash metal band. When I joined the band, my background is a little bit more in jazz, funk, soul, R&B. I grew up playing rock, classic rock and blues as well. I always loved metal, heavy music, but never played it, and it was an opportunity and something I jumped at. And when I joined, we continued with the singer for a little bit, but it turned out not to be his cup of tea. We were going for 6-7 rehearsals a week at that point. We were taking it very seriously and just trying to get good ground under our feet. And he had other things he wanted to do, so he stepped out. And we had a bunch of shows booked, so we decided to keep moving along as an instrumental band. And we were kind of auditioning singers, asking people, but we were a little bit annoyed with what we were getting as far as people that were auditioning. A lot of what was coming up was your typical metal, Cookie Monster, growl, scream, whine, repeat kind of process, and that's not really what we were into. The singer we had a great voice. He could scream, he could growl, but he had a wonderful voice too. So we didn't want to just replace him, and we didn't want to just do what everyone else was doing. And we kept playing shows as an instrumental group, and people kept coming up to us and asking us not to change and saying that we kind of found a thing. So we stuck with that. Another thing that was different when I joined the band, Mike Staines, our guitarist, asked if I like to play leads on bass. And coming from funk and jazz, there's a lot of that, a lot of playing leads on bass. So I jumped into doing that, and for a long time in the group, all of the leads were, exclusively done on bass. As a trio, it's not something you see a whole lot as far as like the rock trio.
Yeah.
But fun, and we just kept growing, and we never let anything corner our sound really. And over the years, we just kept being ourselves. We've released only 1 or 2 official albums. We have a ton of unofficial releases, and we have some things that are in the works as well.
Yeah.
Being a band that rehearses a lot, even on our slow weeks, 2 rehearsals is probably our norm.
Wow.
The beginning of COVID and quarantine was really hard for us.
Yeah.
So as we had always rehearsed at different rehearsal spaces around town, we tried to find a new way of getting things out. So I went about soundproofing my basement of my home, and we started having social distancing rehearsals here. Everybody wearing masks and keeping distance from each other. Mike and Ross, guitar and drummer, already lived together, so they're part of their own quarantine bubble. And it's something that has worked out for us, and we just continue to expand and grow our writing, and we're hoping that however this fleshes out as far as how long we're going through this, that we have some new things to bring, and that the next time we're on stage, however far in the future that is, that we're better than the last time people saw us.
That's great.
So, you started to get in a second there about, about quarantine and about being in a band. Like, we all know what bad things come of it, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, how do you think it's pushed you creatively? Like, what's like creative solutions have you found? How has it been for you? What is it like being an artist in quarantine?
Creative solutions to life in general, absolutely. Unfortunately, artistically, it's been very difficult. I sell beer. So I've continued working through the entire process. There has been no real quarantine for me. I've worked 6 to 7 days a week, often throughout most of this. So finding the energy to be creative has been difficult. Finding the mental space to let go of the things that are going on in the world, or to funnel the things that are going on in the world into a more creative process was difficult for a while at first. Once we started having more normal rehearsals, it started flowing. I noticed that I was at work one day and someone brought up that they were going to have fun that evening, and I realized that I couldn't remember the last time I had fun.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
And that I was thinking back to before 2020.
Smart.
Yeah.
And that really struck me. But luckily, a few days later, when we were rehearsing, I noticed that we were all laughing our asses off and kind of lost in the moment that we were in, and that was, you know, that's the type of fun that I needed. Now, as far as creative solutions, yeah, as you'd mentioned, I'm very into gardening. It's something me and my wife love to do, and until it was time for us to really start playing in the dirt outside and getting some of our plants going, it was a lot of standing in our guest bedroom, which we've converted to a plant room, with our seedlings under the lights and working on things and, you know, making plans for our spring, summer, and, you know, fall harvest and how we're going to work things out. It's very therapeutic. It can also be stressful. There's a lot of anxiety with dealing with pests and disease and the other things that happen, weather, climate change. You know, an entire June with no rain is a difficult thing to deal with. But creative solutions, you know, there's lots of different things that you come by. I'd say in all of this, there's definitely been a push for me to be healthier, take better care of myself, because physical health, mental health are definitely tied together. You know, I've been a musician and a bartender my whole life, so physical health hasn't always been paramount for me. As you can see, I like to drink beer. So keeping a focus on trying to stay healthy mentally, physically, and emotionally has been a huge importance.
Yeah, it's rough. We definitely want to get into your urban gardening project.
Yes, I'd love to hear
Well,
about
we want to dig in. I think after the next video. Don't let us you didn't love it.
So as of right now, all of our urban gardening that we do is stuff that we do on our own property. We live in the city. You know, I've lived on the east end of Pittsburgh my entire life. I bought my grandparents' house probably about 5 years ago. It was through dumb luck and a situation of someone coming into the bar I worked at and asking me what the neighborhood I lived in was like, and revealing that the house that they were planning on buying, after they said the address, I realized was my grandmother's house, and that my aunt had the house for sale. The person ended up buying the house. I brought it up to my mother in passing, and one thing led to another, and I ended up renting the home for my aunt and buying it a few years later. Now, my grandparents grew food on this property. My grandfather had a garden plot out back, and that's something that me and my wife, we refurbished and started working on, and that was about 3 years ago, and we really got bit by the bug of growing your own food, and the revolutionary activity of having self-sustenance in what you grow and not being held victim to whatever your neighborhood is able to provide you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In that, we started doing better and better, and we started expanding into container gardening on our property and using as much of it as we could. Anywhere that sunshine, we figured was a good spot to put a container with some soil and some plants. And as time went on, we noticed that we were harvesting more than we could possibly eat ourselves. So sharing with neighbors is a thing, sharing with band members. My wife is an amazing cook. So there's lots of things that we create in the house as far as different sauces, pasta sauces. We love growing tomatoes. We love growing peppers too. So lots of hot peppers coming around all the time. This year, we are hoping to expand what we share with our community and with our people, and hoping to also be able to can and jar more to save for over the winter, because we don't know what this winter is going to give us as far as COVID and shutdowns and things of that nature.
Yeah, something that I like, Tanisha and I are both from a very rural, farm-heavy community. Like, I grew up on 100 acres, and I was considered to, like, my farm was small, you know, and
Wow.
and nothing.
No, seriously.
Like, when I learned about, like, the concept of food deserts, that took me a while to wrap my head around, because I grew up in a community where everyone had 3 freezers in their house for all of their frozen vegetables, half a cow,
Yeah.
you know, 10
Bale
chickens,
hay.
yeah,
Like,
baling hay, doing stuff like that. So, like, it's crazy to think of, from my perspective, from my experience, for me growing up, to think of, like, canning as, like, a revolutionary
yeah, because it's just normal.
experience. Yeah, so what can you tell us about that for you, about your journey?
So it was definitely different for me to jump into. Growing up, my upbringing was a little bit split. It was suburban part of my life. It was urban another part of my life. I lived all around city of Pittsburgh. I grew up in Penn Hills. I lived in Wilkinsburg as well. And so that definitely gave me different experiences with what food was available, and what the environment I was in was all about. When I lived in a more suburban setting, it was more common to see neighbors growing food, to see things like neighbors having canning basements and stuff like that. When I lived in the city, when I lived in Wilkinsburg, it was definitely not common at all. And then noticing as I grew up, I was on my own, what was available to me. I never had very much money since I've been an adult. Making your own as a musician and a bartender isn't easy. So my fridge was often empty, and there was lots of points in my life where it was Sheetz or Get Go or whatever gas station was nearby that was populating my fridge, and that has an effect on your health as well. The growing of food was something that we started to do just because we had a means to do it, with actually having a little bit of property inside the city and having a garden space available to us, and noticing the difference over the period of one summer, not just in the freshness and quality of food that we were ingesting ourselves, but also noticing a change in difference in my body, in my mind state, and my emotional state, from being able to wake up in the morning, go out into the garden, do some work, harvest, and then breakfast and lunch being products of our own sweat and toil and nature's work, has a huge impact on you. Also, as I, when I was younger and first became an adult, is when I first started becoming politically active and paying attention to what was going on in the world around me. That was George W. Bush, and we all thought that was hell. We didn't really know what was coming. But that was when I started, waking up to the things that were wrong in my city, in my state, in my country, and in the world at large. But it wasn't until I was ending my 20s and getting towards my 30s that I realized that I had to use whatever was made available to me, whether it was the property or even just the sunshine, to be able to make my world a better place. And if that means standing up, speaking out, using whatever medium I have, whether it's the stage or whether it's speaking on this, or just growing food and not giving that money over to, big grocery stores, is a positive thing.
Well, I don't want to cut off this conversation. I want to come back to a bunch of these things, but I think we should get to our next video. Destin, can you MC us on over?
Yeah, so next we have Clara Kent with another song. This one is called Sold. All right, that was Clara Kent.
Yeah.
Woo! You said you were a big fan, huh?
I do. I love Clara. She's awesome. Last summer when I was part of running Full Pint Wildside Pub in Lawrenceville, we had her perform there. They did an album release party. We also had her beer that she collaborated with Butler Brewworks for Fresh Fest 2, the Aura, which personally I feel is the best beer of Fresh Fest last year. It was absolutely amazing.
I'm writing
it. And it was just really, really good. I love everything that she does musically. I also love what she does for the scene. That's what I miss during COVID more than anything is Pittsburgh's hip hop scene and also just the black music scene in general really took a hit when Shadow Lounge closed in 2013. I had worked at Shadow Lounge from 2004 to about 2010, 2011. That was a huge part of my life, and I was a young man, and I really took for granted what it was to have my bosses be black men, have all of my coworkers be people of color, and have that type of environment to show up to every day in a city like Pittsburgh. I didn't realize it till after I'd left and after it was gone what Justin Strong and Tim Guthrie had done for the music scene. But the first time I went to Fresh Fest, for anyone who doesn't know, Fresh Fest is the nation's first black beer festival, and another Pittsburgh first, started by Dave Bracey and Ed Bailey. And were you guys at Fresh Fest either of the 2 years that it's happened?
No. This is first time.
It was amazing. It's unlike any other beer festival. What it felt like was a block party or a cookout that just happened to be a craft beer festival. What Day and Ed did was they got black entertainers, politicians, political activists, business owners to collaborate with local breweries in the name of inclusivity and getting black people to feel comfortable in the Pittsburgh craft beer scene. And the first year as I walked around, now Solarburn just performed that year. I didn't help in any capacity as far as creating a beer. The beer that I made with Full Pint, the T-Funk, was available that year. But as I walked around, my wife even said to me at one point that she'd never seen me smile that much out of the house in a single day. And it was a day where tears came to my eyes multiple times. I definitely spent more time hugging and laughing, which right now would be a godsend just in that. But it was a really beautiful thing, and it's one of those events that made me realize how vital it is for us to not just have inclusive spaces, but have spaces that are our own, that are still open and welcome to everybody, but are created of, by, and primarily for, our black population and people of color to feel comfortable and to feel ourselves. And at the second year, I had created a beer with Helicon Brewing, which Solarburn had collaborated with and made beers with for the Brutal Beer Fest in the past. And Chris Bernetti, their brewer, is a good friend of mine, and he's a great guy, and he's a great friend of the band. But last year, when I was at the festival, it really just hammered home how important something like that is. It's the type of thing that I would want to see in every city across the country, because there were no issues, there were no problems. And matter of fact, I didn't even see people fall down drunk like you usually see at beer fests, where halfway through the day you're done with it and you don't want to be around these people because they're throwing up in garbage cans. There was none of that. Everybody was really respectful and having a good time. It was just as much about community and music and art and food as it was about beer. And last year was when Clara Kent made the Aura with Butler Brewworks. And
right. Okay, cool.
Well, I want to circle back to, you said what Clara Kent does for the scene. So for those of us who don't know, myself included, since, could you tell us a little bit, more about that?
Absolutely. I mean, number one thing that needs to be paid attention to and celebrated that often gets pushed under the rug is that she is proud and strong and unapologetically black woman in a area like Pittsburgh, in the outlying counties, which is not friendly to black people in general, let alone black women, especially ones that are outspoken. She speaks out for what is right, and she has no issues with that. But the thing that I really love is her spirit of collaboration, that she works on projects with lots of different people. when Fresh Fest first started, one of the things that I was interested to see is I've always collaborated with, whether it being guest bartending at other bars or joining other bands for a night out or anything like that. Not everybody does that. And in the hip hop scene, people very often stick to their own circles. It is not always large groups. And that was one of the things that I was saying Shadow Lounge had been so good for. But what impressed me was at the first Fresh Fest and into the second Fresh Fest, seeing if people would actually be interested in going and working with breweries of people they didn't know, putting themselves out of their comfort zones and into, a brewery. For the brewery, that's their home, that's their space. And the spirit of the festival being one that doesn't, that's trying to make the Pittsburgh craft beer scene more inclusive and more for everybody. The whole purpose behind that is because breweries aren't that. I don't know, if this is something you all pay attention to, but when you go into a brewery, do you see a lot of other black people sitting around? Do you see black people sitting around? Do you see people of color sitting around? When I was helping run Full Pint, that was something we focused on, was making it an inclusive space for more people, for LGBT crowd, for all different people of color. Namely for me, even just if women felt comfortable sitting at the bar by themselves, that was a huge deal. Wow. So for me, I was inquisitive to see if people were going to readily sign up to go to these breweries and actually create beer, or was it going to be their name on the beer and the brewery creating it on their own? And not actually spirit of collaboration. And it blew me away to see that everybody stepped up. They went out there, they were pouring grain, they were stirring mash with these brewers, doing things they had never done. And it was, I hate to say it just this way, but it was black-white collaboration in a very spirited way. So seeing people in the hip-hop scene, seeing people like Clara have zero fears or qualms about stepping up and being heard, using their voice, using their platform, that's inspiring to me. It should be inspiring to everybody. And when I met her and found out that she was even, just as cool, that's twice as dope. That made me really want to work with her in the future. And every time I talk to any of the people from Butler Brew Works, I try to convince them to make that a year-round beer because it's a knockout beer and it should be something that should be celebrated.
That's fantastic. This is the first time I heard about Fresh Fest, and I think that's a super important cause. And I love hearing what Clara has done. This is the first week that I heard about. I didn't know about Clara.
Occupying these spaces.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, you guys could do a whole series on Fresh Fest and the collaborators because, just talking to people like Dave Racy alone and what he's already done for the Pittsburgh craft beer scene, what he's done for black people in the Pittsburgh craft beer scene is something else that should be celebrated. I kind of happened into being part of that scene by going from just bartending to helping Full Pint open the Wild Side location to creating awesome. Beer with them to having a beer named after me. To see something like Fresh Fest happen and to see all of my peers get to do the same thing and put their stuff out is awesome. It's absolutely incredible. I know Byron Nash has done a lot of great work with Helltown. They've been doing cool collaborations with them. It's a really good thing because Pittsburgh is becoming known for craft beer, and there's no reason that we should be left out of that part of the conversation.
And it feels like the community is starting, based on what you're saying, starting to really pay attention to its own members, and all for the better.
Yeah, I mean, all for the better is the thing. It's funny is that even people that aren't for racial inclusion, at the end of the day, racism's bad for business. And so even if people are just talking money, it's not good for them at the end to do things that way. We spend money too. We like to have a good time. We like to drink beer. And I think something that you're seeing through the current protests in our city and nationwide is you're seeing people come together for, under the umbrella of one cause, but it's shelters a lot of other things. It comes down to climate change. It comes down to runaway capitalism. It comes down to not just our civil rights, but human rights in general. And, I'm not a capitalist. I don't like the system that we use, but I can still speak their language. I'm still tied to it. I still have to have a job and pay a mortgage. And racism's bad for business.
Cool.
So speaking of the scene and the local community especially, what's your experience been being a black musician in the metal scene?
Not awesome.
Yeah.
Not something that I've ever really. I've never felt drawn in any way. I've never felt inspired to go out to shows of other bands unless I was really a huge fan. Even the bands that I'm buddies with, it's just because it's at best it's willful ignorance and the I don't see color, colorblind kind of mentality, which they might not be maliciously racist up front, but they don't realize systems that they're perpetuating. And also in that kind of space, you get the same mentality that breeds chauvinism, xenophobia, transphobia, homophobia, and like I ain't about none of that. Especially, it was weird because the band that I was in, well, I was in a bunch of bands before Solarburn, but the band I was in for a really long time was a group called the Oldie All Stars, and we were a funk, soul, R&B band, multicultural band as well.
Yeah.
And we played often in the jam scene around town, the hippie fest scene, which also isn't inclusive. It's just kind of full of older libertarians and young people that like to do a lot of drugs, and then musicians. So my experience in Pittsburgh was that while you're on stage, you're fine, but once you're off stage, it doesn't matter anymore. There's no privilege that's extended to being a badass musician or being better than anyone. That was something that also, going back to Shadow Lounge, meant a lot. It was a place where on stage and off stage, you were just as special, you were just as valued, you were just as important. And I'm not saying that all clubs are guilty of that, but it's one of those things where once you find your circles and the people that you like to be around and the people that support you and lift you up and have your back, that's kind of what you stick to, and there's an unfortunate side to that because you're not growing at the rate you should be out of this, self-defense mechanism to watch your own back, but you're staying afloat because you're watching your back. In the metal scene, I would say that there were a lot of people that were drawn to me when Solarburn started doing things because I was different. There's that exoticism, and they don't even realize that they're doing it. But it's something that growing up, listening to heavy music, I noticed it all of the time, or people whispering, oh, did you know Slash was black? Shit like that, where it's like, A, it doesn't fucking matter. B, just pay attention to the fucking music. That's why we're doing this, So there were definitely people I met that I think became my friend, and we became actual friends, but they were drawn to me just because I was different, or it was something they hadn't seen. There's bands that were never about any bullshit, and those are the bands that we played with. That was one thing that I will definitely say about joining a band with two guys I didn't know at all, is that when you become brothers, you're brothers, and they have my back. Mike and Russ know what's going on with me, and we speak, maybe different languages at times, but are on the same page. And if we think a venue is unfair or racially biased or on some fuckery, we don't play there anymore. If we think a band is problematic, has issues, or, has racist tendencies or sexist tendencies, we don't play with them anymore. There's consequences. I don't think that I need to play at any venue so bad that I will, swallow, and not stand up for what is right.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
Any of these venues are paying people enough anyways for, why would that matter? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're fine, man.
Get rid of your pride and your dignity for like a $30 show. But I want to get to, we're running a little bit long here. I'd like to get to our next video, which I think is that Royce, Dustin?
That is Royce, yeah.
Yeah, Royce is actually our bassist, Chris, who wasn't able to be on here tonight. This is his other band, so we're really excited to be able to have them on the show. So I hope you guys enjoy this video.
There are two major crises in this country tonight, okay? As I said, two deadly viruses killing Americans. COVID-19, racism 20. Now we all know that racism is not new this year, but the latest racially charged incident is from just last night. The death of George Floyd. He's a black man in Minneapolis.
I'm not okay, trying to break this cyclical cycle that's taking away my life force, and I need an escape. So give me a break if I'm taking too long to pick up all your calls.
Sometimes I just need a minute to see if I wanna keep living it. So hard to deal with the shit that I go through. I try to prevent it just for it to happen again and again. And I swear I don't think there's an end to this. Done with pretending it's for my own benefit. Lately I feel like I'm out of my element. I don't wanna talk about nothing. I roll with the punches. I stand on my own too. I let my mind keep on rushing. No point in discussing the shit that I don't do. I wish that I could be somebody else. If I could then I would, cause I want to. Y'all don't want nothing to do with me usually, so right now leave me alone too. Cause
I'm not okay, trying to break this cyclical cycle that's taking away my life force, and I need an escape. So give me a break if I'm taking too long to pick up all your calls. I'm not okay, trying to break this cyclical cycle that's taking away my life force, and I need an escape. So give me a break if I'm taking too long to pick up all your calls. On records, I'm laying in bed, and I'm sick of these voices inside of my head. Cannot ignore it, I feel I'm exploding. I'm about to go cocking and boom, and I'm dead. If you can't understand all of my pain, you didn't understand why I'm praying for that. You can never even look me in my eye, cause you never heard a word that I said. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? I'm on that Henny and Henny. If I had some thoughts, then I might have some feelings, but I don't have nothing, no, I don't got anything. I losing my sanity, losing my hope. Don't even know if I can't even cope. Trying to roll up, smoking away, but I can't find a word to even say. I'm not okay, trying to break this cyclical cycle that's taking away my life force, and I need an escape. So give me a break if I'm taking too long to pick up all your calls. I'm not okay, trying to break this cyclical cycle that's taking away my life force, and I need an escape. So give me a break if I'm taking too long to pick up all your calls.
All right, that was Royce.
That was sweet.
Yeah,
I recognized a couple people actually. Really cool.
All right.
And we're getting. Oh yeah, let's meet that.
Sorry, I'm just we lost T-Funk, so we're getting him back in a second here. But that video was great.
Yeah. Again, like not what I expected in a good way. Like
right.
That song. It reminds me of Back Alley Sound, who I think I know the drummer from. I think it's the very close. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, we should have Linstar coming in with us any minute here too. I like, again, you know, what we've been talking about this whole time is like, what is genre?
Exactly. Well, it's like it's such a meshing of all the genres now. You can find so many influences in every piece of music.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Let me say too, watching the comments here, I just love how all the people that we've had, like all the videos, all the people that we've had have been so kind, so nice, so uplifting. Everybody's on here.
I saw how much
about how much he likes Royce, like just so much of a supportive thing.
Yep.
And even just all of y'all emailing back and forth with me, just so kind. Oh, we got Linstar. We got Linstar.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
Hey, and we got T-Funk
and
back
T-Funk,
too.
cool.
So we got both of y'all for a minute. Everyone, this is Linstar, T-Funk, Linstar.
What up, brother? Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you all. So I can just start whenever?
Well, we'll talk for a couple of minutes here, and then we're going to end the show performing, which I'm really excited about because I don't think we've had any live performances
yet. This is our first.
So we're fairly technologically advanced, or I'm not. Destin is, but I'm really excited for that. I wanted to talk about Royce a little bit. I don't know if Linstar or T-Funk, if y'all saw the video that we just had on. Just amazing group. I think we're a little bit biased because our bassist is in the band too, so we want to support him. But just like not what I expected in the most wonderful ways.
Yeah, thank you guys for having on and shooting us a video. Again, everyone who's shot us a video, it's been great. We love that we get to do this. We love that we get to talk to you guys who come on to, it's awesome. We love doing this.
So before we say goodbye to you, T-Funk, I just want to, thank you for coming on and ask you, how can we promote you? Do you have any closing thoughts that you want to leave us with? Yeah, is there any way that we can help with your community garden? Is there anything you want to say to people who want to start growing food themselves but don't think that they can or don't have any knowledge?
I would say this, as far as checking out my music and what I do, please check out Solarburn. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify as well. We always are constantly updating YouTube with new rehearsal footage, live footage, and new music videos that we make ourselves. Please check that out. We will continue playing. We are not going to be doing any shows until we feel it is safe for people. Do not go out. Stay home. Wear a fucking mask. Don't be a fucking asshole. As far as garden projects, please go outside and plant something. It is easier than you think. When me and my wife met, we were both what you would consider black thumbs. We could not keep houseplants alive, and now we grow and harvest our own food. It is something that is vital for our community to be doing. It is vital for black people to be in the dirt and in the sunshine and being part of this world in more ways than we are currently allowed or led to be. For all people, everyone should start growing their own food. If you can eat locally and you can eat regionally, if you can eat healthy, it is one step towards having a better emotional state and better mental state. And for everybody else, I just have to say, do the right thing. Don't be a fucking asshole. Whether that means being good to your neighbor, wearing a mask when you're in public, toughing it out, or helping a person that you're close with get through these hard times we're living through. Do the right thing. Stop being so fucking selfish. Vote. Pay attention to what's going on. We're the only ones that are going to be able to change this shit. People need to be in the street. But that's all I got to say. Thank you all for having me on.
T-Funk, thank you so much, man.
Love you. Thank you.
It's been awesome, yeah.
It's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for being on. T-Funk. Great. Linstar, I think before we get you to perform, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your project, about your music, about your life?
Yeah, of course. I don't know if you can hear the air conditioner in the back. I'm not turning that off. I would die. Okay, good. I was just making sure we were on the same page. So yeah, my name is Linstar. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Pittsburgh. I was born on the Hill District of Pittsburgh. I was raised on the North Side. I'm currently living in the Hill District. I am a musician, a teaching artist, a teacher. I like finance. I'm one of those people who just does it all. But mostly I am a hip hop artist. That is what I am in my heart. I can sing classical music. I can sing whatever I want. But at the end of the day, I'd rather rap. That's who I am. Yeah, I started music when I was around like 15 years old. I started my own music when I was 15 years old. And I just kept chugging along. And now I've been able to release a few projects under my own music label, High Five Productions. The most recent of mine was Universe 25. It was based off of an experiment that this guy named John B. Calhoun was doing on mice. And I'll let you actually go into that experiment because I can't really tell you. It'd be very long. But I turned it into a rap. I turned it into like a 7-song rap. So I think that was pretty successful. Like I enjoyed that. And I ended up getting a grant from the city, from Greater Pittsburgh Arts Council to complete that project, which was awesome. And so, yeah, I've been just making music and I have another project dropping next year. I'm actually taking time this time. I'm chilling. So That's me.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come out here live with us and perform. Like I said, we haven't had anyone performing live yet, so I am psyched.
Yay, awesome. All right, well, I'll get started then. Cool?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. I'll take off the AirPod. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep, you're good.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me change
What's that?
camera direction. How do you do that? Wow, I feel like I'm
Oh,
old.
yeah.
All right. Can you guys see the... Yeah, I can see it. All right, cool. So, I have you guys on another screen. Put a thumbs up if you can see me. I know it's going to be delayed. Actually, I can see myself on the screen, so it really doesn't matter. Any thumbs up. Thank you. The first song I'll be performing for you all is Life is Great. Sorry I'm sitting down. Like I said, it's hot as hell in Pittsburgh. And yeah, I'm going to be sitting for this performance. So enjoy. I have 3 songs for you guys, and let's rock it out. Yeah. Man, no love, no life. Yeah. Damn, I'm feeling good today. Look up in the sky, not a cloud of gray. Only yellow rays as the birdies chirp and the kitties play. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, life is great. I swear I couldn't feel better. Feeling so fly, so high. Clouds are at my side, oh I will give this shit up for anything. Falling in love with simple things. The sound of the trees when the wind blows, or the rain tapping at my window, or the smell of the zindo, or an instrumental. It's have to break, have to spit, cause when I'm rapping I'm my happiest. So check my hair, Mr. Nappy, yes, so black boy, I'm what's happening. Born to be the greatest, no, this wasn't an accident, cause I got purpose, I'm the furthest thing worthless. No, my life isn't perfect, but I'm alive and it's perfectly fine. And the party just started, let's have a wonderful time. Not the cloud of gray. The birdies chirp and the kitties play. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, listen. I'm just a happy child, feeling free and wild, running up the aisles. Shit, like I don't know no better, but we just keep trying to live, we don't get it together. We just live for the moment, but we been living forever. But since that isn't an option, we just gonna keep it rocking. Ain't no living. The view from up here is awesome, ain't no letting you down, cause I got no expectation. They say that's what you make it. Take a look at this creation. I see something beautiful when the usual listen to the world sing this musical like encore, I want more. Feeling away, never before. While this is great, stay up on that stage. I'll stay here amazed, watch my Johnny the Flood. When you perform, everything is unique, no difference in the norm. Please, if you don't, you ever conform. Yeah. Only yellow rays as the birdies chirp and the kitties play. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, life is great. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, life is great. I'm actually gonna pause it just so I can turn my phone on Do Not Disturb, because I was like, that's probably what I should do, and to make sure you guys can hear me.
That was great, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Was everything good?
That was awesome, man.
All right, there we go. That's what I like to hear. All right. Len, I know I said I was 24, but I am an old man, obviously, because I can't seem to work the things on. So, next song I have for you is from my project,
Universe 25. Wow, I don't even know why I just spaced out from that. Next project, Universe 25. Next song is Universe 25. Oversaturation. Enjoy. It's so funny because like I have this live on my computer and there's a delay and I keep like looking at myself to expect to see something, but obviously there's a delay, so that doesn't work like that. This song is directly talking about how Pittsburgh is oversaturated. So we need to get our shit together. And if you, never mind, I'll just talk shit. Yeah. Tell you that everybody playing the rap, and tell you that everybody playing the trap, but they ain't really shit the packs in, not they just acting. They at the Oscars, they deserve Oscars. They deserve an Emmy, you ain't really friendly. That's a fake smile, I can tell, boy. Ain't no angel, you say hell, boy. Don't make me trim your horn, boy. Shit. Trying to get on my show at the slot school. I see you flaring your nostrils, you hating ass me. Y'all just argue about who the best rate debating ass me. Ain't shaking hands, trying to expand. When you placing ass niggas. Trying to advance and shit I can stand. Give me a basic mind, nigga. Fuck being regular, I ain't just stepping up, don't hit my cellular. If you ain't talking about cheddar, bruh, you more cheddar bob, shoot your dick off, shot you don't call, you not no boss, shoot your dicks off, all of these big youths I've been to, boy, get lost. Hope you find your way and get out of mind. I'm trying to shine, not trying, I do. I be the glue, holding my city together. Y'all just be bird, watch and follow all that I do. Wishing I tried to be better, but yeah, never. Yeah, never. All of that bullshit, I'm over it. Sky's not the limit, I'm over it. It's over, cut, mobile, going close, no closure. Don't come closer, need my space by myself, I'll be posted. Yeah. 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 I feel this place is losing quality. I know the universe is calling me. Gotta pick up. The phone's giving me anxiety. I've been feeling bad, losing piety. Oh my God, the irony. Feel the devil, he's been hiding me. Trying to get up inside him. But I don't believe. Fuck is you saying? Don't pray on my knees. I pray on a weak little nigga. Get your weight up. So much to do, I gotta stay up. Been on the grind until the day the death of me will be my word. But this generational curse I gotta break. I gotta be great. I'm up in my race. Saying you better than me, y'all niggas is all up the case. Look, quit capping, nigga. Look at me, I'm the captain, nigga. That's it, hard for the swallow. Shit, and a hard to the face. And I get it. But listen, all of that bullshit, I'm over it. Sky's not the limit, I'm over it. It's over, cut, mobile, going ghost, no closure. Don't come closer, need my space. By myself, I'll be posted, building walls, hanging posters, y'all some poses. Over. Oh my gosh. Yes. Saturate. I didn't practice this before I did it, so I'm like very surprised. I'm gonna check with you guys one more time. See.
You look comfortable.
How's the sound? I'm just gonna aim towards the wall that I've been aiming at. Does it sound good?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Last song.
It's Zoom.
Like man, yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Let me
you're such a
fix
great
that.
performer.
What was that?
You're such a great performer.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you.
He's like, me?
So, last song, right? It's called Bad Bitch. So I told you the last song was about, oversaturated Pittsburgh, and I do mean that. We are losing quality, strong quality of artists and performers, and it's because people aren't taking this shit seriously. This music is my life. I take this seriously. I breathe this. And it kind of makes me feel bad when I watch people jump on this bandwagon of rapping or this bandwagon of DIY performance, and then they hop straight off because they realize that in Pittsburgh, you got to fucking grind. So then they're like, all right, let me rethink some things. So if you're going to jump on this, be ready to grind. Or like just saying, don't oversaturate our community. Second, Bad Bitch, right? So this song is not off of Universe 25. This song is just a song that I wrote. I was thinking one time, I was writing down probably through Squirrel Tongues, that's what it was. And I was like, what if God was a bad bitch? I don't know. It's just what I think. So, hey, right? So what if God was a bad bitch, right? Like, and obviously I'm changing that narrative. Like the lyrics go, but if God was a bad bitch, got her hair and her nails did, and heaven was a mall, she ain't answering your calls because she's trying to steal clothes fit. So if God was a bad bitch, no, she wouldn't need no man, bitch, because niggas ain't shit, and of course God knows, so she'd rather go to universe. So, right? So that's the idea. And let's talk about how I would view God. I would love God as a member. So let's do this, right? Yeah. Yeah. What if God was a bad bitch? Got her hair and her nails did. And heaven was a mall. She ain't answering your calls cause she's yeah. Said what if God was a bad bitch? No, she wouldn't need no man, bitch. Cause niggas ain't shit. Yo. If God was a bad bitch, she would be cast. No, she would be savage. Nothing but such a fashion, nothing but such a cash, nothing but such a sassy ass. But she walked past, even angels never gasped it like, oh my God, my God, my God. Oh my God, we'll flip this shit like acrobatics. Miracles automatic, Kevin Bennett looking lavish. She is super duper swaggy. Always be in the bag, and it's beautiful if you ask me. Say praise beats the most high, like oh my God, my God, my God, my God, my God, my God, my. What if God was a bitch? Yes, got her hair and her nails did. And heaven was a mom, no, she ain't answering your calls, cause she's trying to see it. You feel me? So what if God was a bitch? No, she wouldn't need no man, bitch. Cause niggas ain't shit, and of course God knows, so she, yeah. See, look, God would have to be a bad bitch. Only thing I believe in, she be bossy, she be chasing about hallucinating this game and fucking me. She got hope, she could give a fuck about a couple things. Now that's a bad bitch. Is she a bad bitch? Now that's a bad bitch. Is she my bad bitch? Like oh my, like oh my, like oh my, God, yeah. Got her hair and her nails did. And heaven was a mall, she ain't answering your calls, cause she closed it. Said, what if God was a bad bitch? No, she wouldn't need no man, bitch. Cause niggas ain't shit, and of course God knows, so she rather go to the universe. My God, my God, my God. My God, my God, my God. My God, my God, my God. Yeah. And I actually made this beat. The only song out of all of these that I made was this one. So that makes me happy. But
Sick. Thanks so much for your time.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hold on. Let me get to you so we can actually talk to each other. Wait. Okay, awesome. Hey, hi. I'm glad you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
thank
tell
you.
us
I'm
where
sorry.
you find yourself, how we can support you, any closing thoughts that you have.
Yes.
What?
Word. Okay, so how you can find me? Someone told me that I am very Googleable. So if you don't want to hop on to Spotify or iTunes directly, and you just want to see like what I do or who I am, or because like I have many articles about me, not to brag, like I'm very grateful for these things. So if you want to know more about me, you can literally just type in Lynstarr. That's LYNSTARR. You can also see it right there. That is on a poster. I like to have my accomplishments on my wall around me to remind me that I'm doing okay, right? And so, you can find me on highfivemusic.co. That is my music label's website. And High Five is spelled HIGHFIVE, music.co. Do not put .com because I'm telling you not to put .com and people will still do it. That's weird. So, and I just all I do is make music and I teach kids. I
teach kids, make music. And so, yeah, like, and hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
To you forever. You're such a peach. But that was really great. I can't wait to. I really enjoyed listening to your stuff on the playlist. So thank you for being a part. Thank you for being a part of all of this. Thanks to all of the performers that we had.
Everyone
because the level was up here.
Everyone who's been email contact with us, who's watched the show, who's been on, like, we're so thankful that we get to do this. So again, Lynn Star, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Pittsburgh Creative. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
So I'll post the Spotify playlist link again. Please go there. Follow everybody. Follow Lynn Star. Follow Claire Kemp. Follow Solarburn. Follow Brittney. Follow everybody. And again, I'll post our Venmo is at Creative Collective. All the money that you donate to, your admission to seeing this show, if you enjoyed it, buy some books for kids. 100% of that is going to go to Tanisha's project, the Black Lives Matter project, to buy books for children to give visibility for people of color. So please support that. All you need is to send $10 and that gets a kid a book. And what's better than that?
Yeah, it's a guarantee that it's going to change someone's life, and more than just one. I mean, just that $10 can do so much for a community. So thank you if you're pledging, or if you're helping with this fundraiser. And again, thank you to everybody for being a part of this.
And that's pretty much
That's
it.
our show.
What a great ending to it. Thank you, Lynn Star.
Thank you. I'll see you guys later.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right.
I don't know if we're still going or not. That's in reality?
Not yet.
Hi, everyone.
We're still on here. Yeah. So thanks everyone for continuing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we need to say besides the Spotify playlist. Go follow everybody. Donate some money.
Yeah, that'd be a huge help.
Tanisha, do you have any closing words?
No, I just want to thank everybody for giving us the time to be heard. Anyone who donates. I want to thank you guys for just making this an open space for basically us to chit chat and talk about the issues that are really important to us. Everything's been on a platform lately, but it's reaching other spaces and having these conversations and bringing visibility and awareness to the artists. A lot of people, even myself, were never aware of. So I want to thank you for that. And yeah, thanks for hearing me out.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Anytime. I talk all the time. So.
And that's pretty much it, folks.